It's a new day in Tampa Bay.
New day in Tampa Bay, but hey, the new day starts in Pennsylvania. You're looking live at Veterans Stadium, Philadelphia, PA. Buccaneers await the kickoff to the 1995 season. Hi again, everyone. I'm Andy Hardy. Welcome to our premiere show on Tampa Bay Buck Sunday. We'll be live here every Sunday at 11:30 with complete Buccaneer coverage with live reports and Colin Cowherd. That'll be followed by Fox's NFL Sunday, and then of course today it's the Bucs Eagles coming up at 1 o'clock. Right now, let's go live to Veterans Stadium. Chip Carter is standing by. I think the statue of Rocky Balboa with a baseball glove behind you there, Chip.
Actually, Rocky's across the street. A big 5-page spread today in the Inquirer, Andy. The headline says, new Eagle coach aiming to win now, not later. That is obviously the story for every coach in the NFL. Game one of a 16-game season. We'll take a look at the Eagles side of things from Veterans Stadium. We'll also update you on whether Alvin Harper will play this afternoon or not. And we go one-on-one in a conversation with Trent Dilfer. We call it Behind the Mask, Andy.
All right, yeah, the big story is Alvin Harper. Thank you very much, Chip. We'll check back with you. Meantime, Colin Cowherd is trying to find out where all the Buccaneer fans go when the team is on the road. And apparently Colin has found one place in St. Petersburg.
I get the toughest gigs, don't I, Andy? These are the smiling faces you will get at meetings today that will help you. Thanks, ladies. We got schedules from every team in the NFL on the wall. We got 22 different places to watch the game. We got a game room in back. We'll come back live in about 5 minutes to keep you updated on the Bucs and their booster groups, Andy.
All right, Colin, thank you very much.
All right.
See you in just a minute or so. We all know this is the first game of the year, but are the Bucs 100% healthy? Let's check the status of the ball club. First of all, we mentioned this, Alvin Harper, 3 injuries in 4 weeks. Alvin Harper sprained his right ankle Thursday in practice. He's listed as questionable. Chip Carter will have an update next. Meantime, Trent Dilfer, hyperextended knee in the Dolphin game. He's wearing a brace. This could cut down on his mobility today. What about Eric Rhett? Well, he's a major factor. Rhett can handle that. We know that. Running behind the veteran offensive line, the former Gator starts his sophomore season with the reputation around the league as a future Pro Bowler. All right, let's go back now to Eastern Pennsylvania. Chip Carter at Veterans Stadium. Chip, we just talked about Trent Dilfer. A little more information now on the second-year man and his condition.
Right now, Trent Dilfer says his knee is fine, ready to go, full mobility, and Andy has always worn a brace, although some people made a big deal out of it after the Miami game, but that has always been part of his procedure. The question, of course, is Alvin Harper. Let's take a look at some videotape shot about 45 minutes ago. Harper getting off the team bus, signing some autographs, but noticeably favoring his ankle. Now, this is one of the beautiful things about going live because you now know it as fast as the NFL knows it. Alvin Harper will not play this afternoon here in Veterans Stadium. He is listed inactive along with another wide receiver, Lamar Thomas. So Lamar Thomas and Alvin Harper out. Horace Copeland will start. That means Tyree Davis, Andy, is the backup. Now, one of the other storylines for this game is a simple one. It's the running game. They have to use it to slide the pressure off the quarterback. Dilfer is essentially a rookie. He's only started 2 NFL games in his career. Cunningham says he still doesn't feel comfortable in this offense. So both teams, as we see between the lines, are heading off the game to the running backs.
Ricky Watters is smiling because he now gets what he wants. He gets the ball. He'll get it a lot.
Oh, it's beautiful for me. It's much better for me. We got the I formation, which I was begging for at San Francisco, and that wasn't the philosophy. They weren't going to go with it.
The bottom line of this game is the offensive line. Both teams come in advertising the run.
The bread and butter of this offense is Eric Rhett and the offensive line blowing big holes open.
Randall Cunningham used to blow games open by scrambling, but Hardy Nickerson thinks Randall is slowing down.
Well, Randall's he's a big scrambler, as we all know, but he's slowed down in the past couple of years. I guess all the shots he's taken, but, we're going to try and contain him.
Both quarterbacks want to do one thing today, turn and pivot. Just hand the ball off.
And, Andy, they've got a beautiful day to do it. Temperature right now, 75 degrees, but unlike Florida, absolutely no humidity. It is a picture-perfect day to play some pro football.
All right, Chip, you talked about the fact that we're not going to see much of our great wide receiver, Alvin Harper. That means the running game is all that more important today. But still, we didn't see Harper that much in the preseason. Other receivers picked it up.
Exactly. Horace Copeland is going to come in and obviously be a starter. He's proven himself in the preseason. And Tyree Davis, who we didn't see a lot of, has got a lot of speed, Andy, so they're not going to be hurting at wide receiver.
All right, Chip, thanks. We'll see you in a minute. Of course, this is a very huge day for Malcolm Glazer. First regular season game as the new owner of the Buccaneers. A few minutes ago, our cameras caught up with Malcolm. He arrived at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. And one has to wonder if this guy had any sleep at all last night. You know, it was Glazer who won the battle of the Bucs. He outbid some local groups who would have loved to have owned this ball club. And for a while, it was a guessing game as to just which group would end up with the ball club. All the suspense ended one day last January when Malcolm Glazer was selected to become the new owner of the Buccaneers. Once a watch repairman, Glazer wasted no time in drumming up fan support. This guy's seen just about everywhere, and he's always surrounded by fans. He was even here at Fun Fest, but he arrived a little late because he had to park in Lot Z and then walk to the field. But since taking over the team, the Glazer family has often gone the extra mile to please the fans.
Recently, we're talking to the NFL, and we were told that the Tampa Bay area fans are probably about the highest in the nation. So if you have fans that are about the highest in the nation, we have to do our part too.
Sons Brian and Joel are the team executive vice presidents. Bit of a change from the corporate world from which they came.
For fans first, we want to look at what the fans need and treat them properly. We see how we go out in the parking lot, we see what they need to, from parking to concessions, everything's important to us, and it'll always be.
Seems they're doing everything for the fans. Channel 13 is co-sponsoring a contest where Buck fans have a chance to come up with new colors and a new logo. And the Glazers say they'll listen.
I think you do what the fans like to have you do, and if they think it's important, then I guess it's important.
The biggest thought, and we always say it, is that it's the players that win games, and we know it's not the uniforms, but we're going to let the fans decide which way we go.
By the way, that coloring contest we were talking about, sponsored by Channel 13 and WQYK Radio, still in full swing. Entry forms can be picked up at both stations. No age limit here, and it might be a good idea if you're a school teacher to get your entire class involved. Once you work out the new color scheme and come up with a new logo, all you have to do is send the forms back to us here at the Bucks Coloring Contest, WTVT P.O. Box 31113. Coming up on the very first edition of Bucks Sunday, maybe he doesn't have Malcolm's money, but the guy is rich. Yep, in just ahead, we'll get the thoughts from the Bucks general manager on today's season opener. And also, we'll go behind the mask today. And what about the fans? Well, Colin Cowherd's going to clue us in, search the Bay Area and find the secret hiding places. And also, we'll go behind the mask of Trent Dilfer, the young quarterback of service, who's ready to take over the role as the leader of this ball club. All this just ahead. Stay with us. Bucks Sunday. All right, now it's time to take one more trip across the bridge to Colin Cowherd in St. Petersburg. As you recall, he's over at Bleachers looking for some of those diehard Buccaneer fans.
Well, we got him, Andy. They're filing in. We got a Redskin and a Cowboy fan right here. Two teams hoping they go to the playoffs as well. I think, Andy, you'll agree. One of the first years in a long time. There's some genuine excitement and optimism with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it all started yesterday with the Tampa Bay Bucs Booster Club in Tampa.
Well, I've always liked football.
For Sarah Tyler
They're our team. We got to support them because we don't want them to go anywhere.
and Cheryl Merrill, being a Buck fan means getting up early Saturday morning to see the team off to Philadelphia.
You're a diehard.
I'm a diehard.
The Tampa Bay Bucs booster group has 250 members roughly, and those truly dedicated never let the team leave this city or arrive back without some fanfare.
The first game the Bucs ever played in 1976, I was there. I missed 2 preseason games since then. I was in England. I couldn't find out the score over there. It cost me $25 to find out. They lost.
That was the bad day in bloody old England.
It was.
Sarah can't imagine life without football, and Bucs players seem to like the special packages they get in return.
You just have to remember that they're guys and they're trying their hardest, and we're here. You just kind of have to boost their enthusiasm and make the guys know that we care about them here.
Meanwhile, Bob, Chuck, and Trent, not Dilfer. I checked his ID. It is not Dilfer. Join us here. There are big Bucs fans from Sarasota, actually Michigan Wolverine fans. Let's lay it on the line. Trent to another Trent. Can Dilfer lead this team to the playoffs?
If you just can't make any mistakes. That's the whole thing. With that defense, as long as he gives the ball to Eric Rat and doesn't make any mistakes, yeah, I think he can be all right.
Voicing an opinion I think a lot of people agree with. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Trent. Back to you, Andy.
Yeah, he may make a mistake or two, but it's how he handles the mistake that will count, right?
How he rebounds off him, right.
That's right. Okay, see you in a minute. It was last November that Rich McKay became the general manager of the Bucs. He's a one-time quarterback at Jesuit High School. Gave up his job as a team vice president. And each week on Bucs Sunday, we're going to visit Rich to get a word from the top. And today we start by asking Rich about his feeling regarding today's season opener.
Well, new seasons always have different feelings going in, and this one is one in which we have a lot of anticipation, a lot of expectations, but you have a lot of nerves. You don't know what to expect. You're playing the first game. You've played preseason. You have an idea of what your football team is, but until they play that first game, you don't really know where you may have, some weaknesses that you hadn't anticipated, and so a lot of anticipation, a lot of nerves.
You walk around town, the question most asked is, what about Trent Dilfer? What's he looking like? Is he going to be good? Is he ready to go? Obviously, he's ready because the coach is throwing him in there.
Yeah, I think he is ready. I think that we know that ready means he's ready to play at the level he should play at. But he's still a second-year player. He's still going to have some games in which I remember Doug Williams very vividly in the '79 season throwing some interceptions, and everybody's saying, oh, geez, we can't live with that. And we'll have those moments where people will say, geez, how did he do that? But he's ready to go. He's ready to perform, and we're ready to win with him. That's the key.
He may end up at the end of the year the executive of the year in the NFL because
you're going to write my speech?
No, I will if you want.
Okay.
You're the first one to sign all the draft picks. Boom, you got them all the way in a hurry. Want to know why? I got 3 reasons why, A, B, and C. Tell me which one it is. Well, maybe none of these are. I'm not sure. I got A, the draftees thought the camp was in Maui.
Right.
That's A. B, you only drafted players that didn't have agents. Or C, Malcolm wants a winner as quickly as possible, no matter what it takes. Is it A, B, or C?
Well, I think if those selections, I'd go more towards C. I think, the Glazers' approach was, we've got a new slogan, and the slogan is, it's a new day in Tampa Bay. And one way to live up to that slogan is we've got to do things differently than we did in the past. So we went as aggressive as we could with respect to signing those draft picks. I told them, in fact, we had lunch the other day, and I told them, do not ever expect this again because it is a tough process. But it worked out well for us this year. I think one thing that helped us was getting Warren Sapp signed as quickly as we did, because that motivates the rest of the crew.
Another thing that came up recently was this deal in Orlando. It was nothing, but a lot of people blew it out of proportion, perhaps.
Well, it's one of my 3 great things, which is the coach, the quarterback, and where you're going to play. And until we get the stadium deal done, I expect to read and hear a lot about, well, you're going to play in Maui, you're going to play somewhere. And that's part of the business. We've got to do everything we can to get it done in Tampa. I think the Glazers have made that clear. They've made commitments. We've begun to negotiate. I feel pretty good about where we're going, but it's a tough process. It's going to take a little time, and we're going to have to see how it plays out. I do feel good about hearing the politicians talk about it and the fact that they're going to address it as soon as we get past the September 12th referendum issue. But, Andy, don't fool yourself. This is a tough issue. It's a big issue, big money.
I still like the idea of having camp in Maui. We all need a vacation from time to time. Still to come. Despite having just 2 NFL stars, Trent Dilfer is the man on offense. How's he coping with the pressure? We're going to find out next. And also, our Karen Mays is going to give us the scoop on what really motivates the Buccaneers. Players' wives, perhaps, have gone unnoticed. Well, at least until now. And we go back to Philly. Chip Carter got some last-minute thoughts from defensive coordinator Rusty Tillman. That's the vet. Stay with us.
Back here live in Philadelphia, less than 90 minutes to kickoff, fans slowly filling inside. And in the NFL especially, winning comes down to a formula it comes down to percentages, and a man following a formula today is defensive coordinator Rusty Tillman. For him, the formula to contain Randall Cunningham is simple. Force him to throw.
Well, it's always a tough job to contain Randall. I think the best thing we can do, as far as Randall Cunningham is concerned, is to shut down their running game. They've run the ball very, very well during the preseason. They're averaging 161 yards a game, and when you can run the ball like that, your passing game is really good. And when you got a guy like Randall who can run around back there, that makes it even worse. So really the key to stopping Randall Cunningham is to shut down their running game.
Now, the Bucs obviously come in at Veterans Stadium with a lot of offensive weapons, Eric Redd, Copeland, and Dossie, but weapons don't work if you can't pull the trigger. And the trigger, obviously, is QB Trent Dilfer. Now, I sat down with him in a one-on-one conversation because Dilfer calls the signals, and he also calls it like he sees it. It's our Behind the Mask segment. He's one of the most candid players on this team, so I sat him down, and he told me how he sees it behind the mask.
I'm at the point now where I can, you know, I don't want to say coach because I'm always getting coached, but I'm at the point now where I can help people out if they're struggling with the situation. I know what pretty much everybody's doing on the field. My personality is such that I'm going to wear my emotions on my sleeves a lot of the time. Now, I'm not going to wear it to the point to where it's going to affect me or to the point where the defense thinks that I'm at a weak part of the game or thinks that I'm breaking down. People keep asking those questions before they're answered. We were 3-1 in preseason. Whoop-de-doo, you know, is the way I look at it. I call them the glorified practices. They were important for me, very important for me, and that I understand, and I appreciate them for that. But I don't really know if they really show how good you are as a football team. I'm taking a pretty business-like approach to it. I have a job to get done. I got to take care of business, and that's sort of the way I'm looking at it. I'm going to have a fun time doing it, but I got to take care of business, and we have a responsibility. I have a responsibility to each team member, and they have a responsibility to me, and we all have responsibilities to one another, and we really don't want to let each other down.
Now, obviously, Dilfer is getting the respect and the leadership qualities from his teammate. But, Andy, I'll tell you, in terms of his measurement in the NFL, he's not getting recognized by many fans. Up here in Philadelphia, he has been able to walk virtually unaccosted from team buses to hotels, from team buses to right here at Veterans Stadium. And he's not getting mobbed by fans yet. Hopefully that'll come later on in the year when he's had a lot of success behind him.
They'll know who Trent Dilfer is. There's no question about it. Maybe when the day's out.
Oh, we hope so.
Okay, Chip. See you in a second.
You got it.
As we continue here with Buck Sunday, there are thousands of Buccaneers fans all over the Bay Area, but to some of the players, the biggest boosters, win, lose, share the same house. Karen May talked to some of the Buccaneer wives. Plus, you know, it was a big day in college football yesterday around the state of Florida. We're going to check to see how the Noles, the Gators, and those Canes fared when Buck Sunday returns. Stay right here. In case you haven't heard yet, the big three, Florida State, Florida, and Miami, all opened up their football seasons yesterday. At the Citrus Bowl, the preseason #1 team in the country certainly looked at. This is either the Chief or it's Burt Reynolds dressed up. We don't know. Brock Preston, one of the many weapons of the Seminoles arsenal, explodes here. 85-yard run, winning past Duke and everybody else. Down the sideline, Bobby Bowden's club managed to squeak by 70-26. Meantime, in Gainesville, looking good here, huh? Gators began their season against Houston. This was supposed to be a complete mismatch, but Houston kept it close for a while before Steve Spurrier's offense kicked in. Eric Crusher to Chris Doring here. 45-21 Gators over the Cougars. And in Los Angeles, Butch Davis debuted as the coach of the Miami Hurricanes. Some debut, huh? Hurricanes offense non-existent. And then when Earl Little made a little mistake by simply dropping this punt at the 5-yard line, that kind of iced things for the Bruins. They handed Miami only their 4th loss in 50 games. The final score there, 31-8. UCLA, a winner. Well, if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, there's one person that maybe knows your game better than you, who watches your every move and pushes your game to a brand new level. And we're not talking about Sam Wyche either. Eyewitness News reporter Karen Mays takes us outside the lines and into the lives of the Buccaneer wives.
And I would say I'm a very, very big fan of his.
Amy Nicholson has kept close tabs on her husband's outstanding football career, from his college days at the University of California, Berkeley all the way to $1 place. She says it's that type of support and stability that allows Hardy Nickerson to play football the only way he knows how, on fire.
We're not as wishy-washy, say, as fans could be, or even the press. And, you know, we're going to love him anyway. Keeps them focused and balanced.
Nickerson says being an NFL wife is not easy. Joanna McRae, wife of offensive guard Charles McRae, agrees. McRae describes her husband as an intense football player whose intelligence borders on near genius. But she says being an NFL wife means you're an honorary genius.
Well, the joke is that I'm the sports nutritionist, the sports psychologist, the masseuse.
Oh, and don't forget chauffeur.
When we drive home from a football game, I have to drive because Charles is so geared up. We're afraid he's going to, like, ram somebody or wreck.
But talk to Cassandra Dilfer, and you see the intangibles of being an NFL wife. She understands the awesome responsibilities that lie on her husband's shoulders as quarterback. She says she supports him by listening.
Usually we just talk about it. I like to ask questions. Sometimes he'll just give information and really want to talk about it.
Dilfer says all three players can concentrate on the field because their wives run interference for them off the field. Karen Mays, Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
There's your motivation right there. We're going to be back to wrap things up, but hey, don't forget this. The Bucs and the Eagles are just 2 of 30 teams that will be in action this weekend. Waiting in the wings, the Fox team. That's James, Terry, Jimmy, Howie. Just minutes away from there, Fox. NFL Sunday show live from Hollywood. All right, it's time now for some final thoughts from our two guys out in the field. Let's make that long road trip first. Let's go to Chip. With all those friendly fans there at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Colin also at Bleachers. Chip, first of all, this is a tough place to play because, you know, they boo their own team up there.
Oh, yeah. These are a lot of grim faces walking in here because, Andy, for both teams, there's a little fear of the unknown. But the Buccaneers are coming in here with a pretty good omen. It was in the paper this morning. Tampa Bay's Dilfer fits a dangerous profile. Last year, the Eagles were victimized by young, inexperienced quarterbacks. This one comes in with a little confidence. Hopefully, Trent Dilfer will leave with a lot of points because this Philadelphia ball club, when you talk to fans filing in here, they don't know if they can win 10 ball games or lose 10 ball games. That same scenario fits the Bucs. So the curtain goes up in about an hour. Let's get it ready to go.
All right. Thank you very much, Chip. And Colin, over there at Bleachers, from what I gather from the fans there, they wish the Bucs well, but they're really not sure after 12 straight losing seasons. They're a little hesitant to say this is a great football team.
Yeah, Andy, I think it's called hedging your bet a little bit. And I think people you talk to say, sure, Trent Dilfer's important, but it comes down to Eric Rhett. If they can't run with Eric Rhett and Dilfer's forced to throw, the Eagles pin their ears back, and the Bucs are in a lot of trouble. The ground game's still the key to this team, Andy.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. We'll see you next week.
All right.
Chip, have a safe trip home, too. All right. We're now 60 minutes away from the brand-new Buccaneer season. Their 20th, by the way. Up next, we go to Hollywood, California. That Fox pregame show. Whole gang is out there. James, Terry, Howie, Coach Jimmy. That's the fearsome foursome right there. And then it's the Bucs and Eagles. Don't forget at 1 o'clock. We'll see you next week at 11:30 right here on Tampa Bay Bucs Sunday. Thanks for watching.
Is a Fox Sports presentation.
Al, who do you think of when we make love?
Dr. Kevorkian. A Married with Children Easter will return, but first, this Fox special giveaway. The 1 millionth caller wins our big grand prize.
I like those odds.
Congratulations, you're our grand prize winner.
What I win? A new car? A trip to Hawaii?
You've won a free visit to NFL on Fox.
Oh!
Homer, Bart, welcome to the NFL on Fox. I'm Terry Bradshaw.
Wow, Terry Bradshaw, the man who won 4 Super Bowls, despite having the first name of a girl.
Hey, ignore the boy, Terry. I was hoping you could help me with a little wager. who's going to win the Saints 49ers game today?
Homer, we don't know who's going to win the game till the game is played.
Sure you don't.
Hey, you're James Brown. My dad says you were the greatest running back ever.
I'm sorry, son. That was Jim Brown.
Oh, I know. You're James Brown, the godfather of soul. I feel good. Na-na-na-na-na-na.
Sorry, I'm not him either.
Oh, in other words, you're the nobody James Brown, the talentless James Brown, the insignificant JB number 3.
I'm still big enough to take a piece out of you, boy. So, Homer, what do you do for a living?
I work for a vicious, evil skinflint who exposes me to nuclear radiation 40 hours a week.
Well, I worked for Jerry Jones.
I can only imagine your pain.
Howie, you mind if I say hello to my friends and family?
I can't see the harm.
Hi, Mom, Lise, Maggie, and a special hello to my good friend, I.P. Daly.
Why, you little...
Go for it, man. Man, Homer, I really envy that hairline of yours. How do you keep from losing those top 2 hairs?
Super glue. Enough of this garbage. I want football.
Cowabunga, Bart and Homer. You're on my turf now. So plant your butts on the couch. Because it's the NFL on Fox. Part go. With the Niners packing another ring, the NFL is now Steve's world, and everyone else is looking for a way to survive. Last season, the Saints got divine help from their man Everett, but this year's Holy D could definitely use your prayer. Philly's new look-o hopes to take Mr. C to the playoffs over rushing waters and smoother roads. This could be it for the Bucs, as Sam gives the ball to Dilfer and the boot to Erickson. The Lions D grabbed X-Spike Thomas. And as for their O, one word, one name, Barry. After coming oh so close last year, the Steelers are ready to butt some heads, but they'll do it without Caper. He's off to Carolina, where after years of standing in Jim Kelly's shadow, Frank Reich takes center stage as the hero and Panthers' top thrower. Last year, George Tomatis was pleasantly surprising, so the Falcons said see ya to their man named Ryan. A moon bowl might be mission impossible, but that won't stop him from airing it out to Special Agent Carter. Meanwhile, Wattstad's overachievers want more of this, so it's up to their stingy D to take it. St. Louis is hoping a new home and a new coach will mean a new era. The Brett man will prove his point 6 at a time. The Pack's attack will administer the usual punishment. But he gets the point, and he needs more, so he'll enlist the armed force of Commander Craig. In Washington, same as usual, they can't make up their mind. So it's Schuler's turn to twist and shout. Now, from Hollywood, where cartoons are cool, but live is awesome, your animated co-hosts of Fox NFL Sunday.
They're going to let Trent Dilfer throw the ball that much. Now, flip over back to the Eagles, though, Sterling. As for Ricky Waters, he took the money and ran from San Francisco because he wants to run more. He wants to get the attention that Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith gets with all those yards. I got news for you. Charlie Garner impressed Ray Rhodes in the preseason. Charlie Garner's going to cut into his time, Joe.
Boy, you got a real problem if that happens, Mort. I mean, Ricky Waters has got to be the featured back. He's going to an offense where it's similar to where he came from. He says, I want to win the rushing title. If he doesn't win the rushing title, and if he doesn't carry the football, the biggest problem the Eagles are going to have, Boomer, has nothing to do with his legs or his playing time. It's going to be his mouth, because Ricky's going to let him know that he's not happy, and that could be a big problem for Ray Rhodes.
He wants to win a rushing title. Is Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders, aren't they still in the NFC? I mean, Ricky's an excellent player, but that's a tough rushing title to win over there. Well, Barry Sanders,
As the Eagles open up their season against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. For the Eagles, the Ray Rhodes era has begun. He takes over for Rich Kotite. No one is more happy about this than Randall Cunningham. With good reason, too. Everyone knows the West Coast offense works and works well. The question here in Philadelphia is, can Randall Cunningham make it work for the Eagles? For Tampa Bay, they want to stop that streak of 12 straight seasons of double-digit losses. A lot rides on the shoulders of a young quarterback, Trent Dilfer. The Bucs are very excited about their young quarterback, Trent Dilfer, although he'll be without wide receiver Alvin Harper. Harper sustained an injury to his other ankle this week in practice and will be sidelined for today's game. That puts the workload on number 32 running back Eric Rett, who last year rushed for over 1,000 yards as a rookie. I think he can handle it. Now let's go back to Pittsburgh. Kevin Harlan and Jerry Glanville. Eagles once again will depend heavily on Randall Cunningham. But the veteran quarterback has some additional help. Running back Ricky Waters, their marquee free agent signee. For Tampa Bay, the progress of young quarterback Trent Dilfer so important to their success. But Dilfer has running back Derrick, who's hoping to build on his terrific rookie season. It all starts this afternoon at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia as the Eagles host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mike Green. Welcome to the NFL on Fox. Both teams have high expectations for the coming season. A lot has to do with all the new faces, but not only new faces out on the field, we have new faces in the broadcast booth. Joining me this afternoon, a gentleman who had a terrific 10-year career in the NFL as a nose tackle and defensive end, 9 years with the Kansas City Chiefs, including 2 Pro Bowls, and retired after the '93 season with the Green Bay Packers from the University of Pittsburgh. The veteran, Bill Moss, who may have had his playing days behind him, but still has his game face on. And that game face looks a heck of a lot better inside of a helmet, Mike. Well, Bill, I know you're looking forward to this season. So are the Eagles with Ray Rhodes. He's their new head coach, always successful as an assistant. He has to have a strong year from Randall Cunningham.
Randall Cunningham is the key to the offense. He has to operate this offense with precision. This offense is based on timing patterns and footwork. He has to get the ball to the right receivers in order for this thing to work.
Meanwhile, for Tampa Bay, they've got a youngster at the helm. Trent Dilfer just in his second year. Sam Wyche says he can be a big-time quarterback, and they certainly need him to have a strong year. Coming up next, we'll have the opening kickoff. The Eagles and the Buccaneers continues after these messages from your local station.
Your NFL Sunday.
And now for something new. It's Cooking with Terry and Howard.
First, you need to get a very large bowl and 1 bag of Lay's potato chips. Now, gently pour into bowl and let stand for 4 to 5 seconds. Here's one I prepared earlier.
I, on the other hand, like to experiment a little more than our friend Terry here. I recommend a bag of Wavy Lays.
Next week's show, how to pour beer. For today's recipe, write the Lay's and Wavy Lays potato chips. Bet you can't eat just one.
Sunny and 80 degrees in Philadelphia with low humidity. A beautiful day to open up the NFL season and open up the head coaching debut of Ray Rhodes. 14 years an assistant. His first chance to be the head guy. Meanwhile, for Sam Wyche, his 4th year with Tampa Bay, 12th year in the NFL as a head coach. He says this is the year they'll turn it around. The Buccaneers have won the toss. And they will receive. Former Steeler Gary Anderson will kick it off. Bobby Joe Edmonds back to receive. And here's the story in itself. Bobby Joe Edmonds out of the NFL for the past 5 years. And the '95 season is underway. Edmonds cuts inside. And a beautiful run for Bobby Joe Edmonds all the way up to about the 33-yard line. Excellent return. And good field position, 26 yards for Bobby Joe Edmonds. And there's your starting quarterback, Trent Dilfer. At age 23, he is the man. He's been given the team, and he must be the leader. And he'll have, again, in his second year, had a couple of starts last year. Sam Wyche very confident in this young man. He's got a terrific offensive line, led by Paul Gruber, one of the very best in the game. The future stars, Derrick, Copeland, and Doffey at the receivers. Hopper not playing today with the ankle injury. So Dilfer with the first play from scrimmage. Derrick is the lone setback. And he gets the first call and quickly brought down. Andy Harmon with the first tackle. And let's take a look at that Philadelphia defense. Much expected of that rookie, number 55, 59, Mike Mamula out of Boston College, along with the Harmon, who's becoming a very strong player. Also a solid linebacking crew. Former Redskin Kurt Govea is in the middle. And the secondary, Derek Frazier, takes over for the departed Eric Allen, who's now in New Orleans. 2nd down and 10. No gain on the play. Dave Moore is the fullback. Palmer tight end. Copeland goes in motion. They pitch to Rhett. Rhett stumbles and goes nowhere again. Andy Harmon once again with strong pursuit.
You can see they started off running the ball right away, first to the left side, Mike, and then again tossing it out to the right side. And both times it's been the backside pursuit of Andy Harmon that has made the tackle.
The defensive line a concern for Ray Rhodes, but so far 2 strong plays, 2 runs for Rhett, and absolutely no yards. So Dilfer goes into the shotgun. 3rd down and 10. Quick pass. He's got Courtney Hawkins. And Hawkins gets up to about the 37, way short of the first down. Derrick Frazier makes the stop. 3 and out for Tampa Bay.
Ray Rhodes wasted no time at all coming after the young quarterback. He brought the safety on both sides, coming off the corners on a blitz. Quarterback found the man underneath who was open, but just not enough to get upfield to make the first down.
There's one of their free agent signees, Reggie Roby. Former Dolphin, former Redskin. And still punting strong, Kelvin Martin. Former Cowboy and Seahawk in his first year with Philadelphia. And a nice kick from Roby. Martin fields it at his own 20. And he's got some room. He's got one man to beat. And finally slowed down. A 37-yard return for Kelvin Martin. Excellent field position for Philadelphia. Barney Bussey was able to slow him down.
Let's take a look at it again. Here he takes the punt upfield, starts to the right, and the holes open up. Great blocking. Usually you have to start to the right and come back left. The only person who can get him is Reggie Roby. He doesn't want to break his wristwatch. Here comes Barney Bussey back in to make the play.
And Kelvin Martin, such an exciting returner. Did it with the Cowboys and the Seahawks. Randall Cunningham at the helm. 1st and 10. Kevin Turner right now, the lone setback. Long count from Cunningham. Flag thrown on the play. He throws on first down, complete to Turner. Lonnie Martz quickly brings him down, but a penalty marker on the play. And Gary Lane, a former backup quarterback to Fran Tarkenton with the New York Giants. He's our referee this afternoon. The veterans always get the explanations, don't they?
The referee's no relation to Bobby Lane, is he?
No, no relation.
Just a quarterback.
Offside. Defense, number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Chidi Ahanotu.
Chidi Ahanotu jumped offside twice, jumped into the neutral zone, but tried to blame it on Ed West, a smart veteran move. You always try to blame the other guy.
Barnett and Williams split out to the left side. 1st and 5. Cunningham's going to throw again. Martin got it, and it's knocked out of bounds. After a couple of yards, Barney Bussey and Martin Mayhew push him out. Let's take a look at Philadelphia's starting offense. Of course, Mr. Cunningham beginning his 11th NFL season with the new coach and the new offense. Trying to come back. A lot of new faces on this line. McKenzie and McIntyre, some terrific linemen in their first year here. Fred Barnett now becoming one of the best wide receivers. Turner from the Patriots, Waters from the 49ers. They may need some time to get a little chemistry. 2nd down and 1. Ball already down to the 32. Waters gets his first ball and fumbles the ball. It looks like Philadelphia regained, but Ricky Waters, who had the propensity to fumble in San Francisco, dropped it on his first carry as an Eagle.
Let's take a look and see what happens here. He runs right into Guy McIntyre. That's what happens. Penetration from Warren Sapp caused the play. Pushed McIntyre into the backfield to disrupt their timing and bounced the ball right onto the ground.
So a loss of 5 on the play. 3rd and 6. It appears Waters and Ed West bouncing on that one. Cunningham fires. Complete to Waters for the first down and more. Ricky Waters' his first reception, and they're down near the 20-yard line. Barney Bussey finally brings him down.
Looks like we have a penalty. It's going to be offsides encroachment, and they're going to decline that and take the ball where it's spotted.
16-yard pickup. Rhodes says Cunningham is progressing nicely with this offense, the new West Coast offense. And certainly out of the backfield, Turner and Waters looking sharp. First down and 10. Waters to call again, and maybe a yard. Let's take a look now at the Tampa Bay starting defense. A defensive line that will add a very impressive rookie, Warren Sapp out of Miami, and they also hope former first-round pick Eric Curry begins to fulfill expectations. A strong linebacking crew. The heart and soul is Hardy Nickerson. The first-round pick is Derrick Brooks. and an experienced secondary. 35 years of experience there, including former Pro Bowl player Thomas Everett. 2nd and 9. Waters goes in motion again. Cunningham on the move. Slips inside. First down, Cunningham inside the 10-yard line. Derrick Brooks finally brings him down. 11-yard pickup.
Let's take another peek at it. I don't think this was a designed play. I don't think it was supposed to be the naked bootleg. He sees Nickerson coming right in the middle. He rolls out of the pocket, avoids everybody, and a nice pickup for Randall Cunningham.
That's the problem when you have an aggressive defense against a quarterback like Cunningham.
He can take advantage of your defensive unit by his scrambling abilities. He's proven that over the year. We have an injury on the field.
Buccaneer down on the field. We'll check it out. No score early first quarter at the vet. 1st and goal from the 9 for the Eagles. On the move on their first possession. Ricky Waters cuts inside maybe a yard. Derrick Brooks among those to bring him down.
Ricky Waters attacks the left side of the offensive line there just for nothing. That didn't get anything on the play at all. Good job by number 77, Mark Wheeler.
Marty Mayhew was the Buccaneers shaking up on that last play. They took him off. Tony Stargell came in. And there you see Waters over the 5 years. Always overshadowed by Steve Young and Jerry Rice. Can be the man.
Can be easy to get lost in that group of talent out there.
Absolutely. No gain on that one, however. 2nd and goal at the 9. Waters again. And gets close to the 5. Lonnie March in on the tackle.
Lonnie March, nice play. Watch what happens. It's a lead. It's a fullback lead. They're handing the ball off to Ricky Waters. He comes up the middle. You'll see it right here. Fullback leading in on Hardy Nickerson. Nickerson takes it on right, and here comes Lonnie March over to make the play. He's got to fill. That's the whole offense taking on the lead fullback.
3rd and goal at the 5. And the officials blow the whistle. Buccaneers have to take a timeout. As apparently they had either too few or too many on the field. Cunningham ready to bring it in for a score. The city of Philadelphia, including the fans, that can be very difficult if your team doesn't start off well. But so far, first drive, impressive for the Philadelphia Eagles. They've got a 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line, although Cunningham has had his problems, as you see, inside the 10. Turner goes in motion, and to move it, Ed West, the tight end, who was just signed this week, goes offside.
Just recently acquired, just brought into the Philadelphia Eagles this week from Indianapolis when they cut him. He's still immediately as the starting tight end. So Ed's going to run through a couple of these problems as a player, getting the snap count, getting used to hearing Randall's rhythm.
So now they start back to the 10 on this 3rd. They have really had problems in a preseason and much of last year once they were in the red zone being able to score.
The red zone's been a problem for them. I'm surprised they abandoned the run already. They've been having problems in the pass in the red zone area. They came out early here running the ball, and then now they're going back to pass.
3 wide receivers as Martin goes in motion. 3rd and goal at the 10. Cunningham to Waters. Has a couple of blockers, but falls short of the end zone.
Nice screen play. There's left in screen.
Barney Bussey on the tackle.
Let's take another look at this here. Beautiful, beautiful execution of this screen. Offensive linemen set it up well. To run the screen, you have to have perfect timing, and they show it right here. See big guy McIntyre out in front there clearing away. Here comes Reggie McKenzie clearing it. Oh, their offensive line. Perfect timing on that. You set the defensive lineman up, then you bail out on them.
So Gary Anderson on for 3. Attempting a 21-yarder. Anderson in his 14th year in the NFL. First 13 with Pittsburgh. And Anderson with the first points of the season for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles impressive on their first drive, but come away with just the 3.
That's right. Just 3 points. Ray Rhodes, once he gets down in that red zone area right there, you'll want 7. You want to come out of that red zone with 7 points. He's been settling for 3 points all this preseason, and he's not happy about it.
Crowd just short of a sellout for Ray Rhodes' debut as a head coach. 44 years old, won 5 Super Bowl rings as an assistant with the 49ers. The players absolutely love his style.
They love him. He's a straight shooter. Everybody on the team knows exactly where they stand with Ray Rhodes. He doesn't like to go upstairs and sit in his office and sit back in a chair. He likes to be right down there in the locker room, laying around with the guys, talking to them, explaining strategy, going over some of their problems, so he knows where everybody sits as a unit.
He was an assistant for 14 years, played for 7 years, actually led the NFL for the NFC in yards per catch when he was with the Giants. Also played with San Francisco as a wide receiver and defensive back. And there's you see their scoring drive. Anderson caps it off. They had first and goal inside the 10, but came away with the 3. Anderson will kick off. Bobby Joe Edmonds, who had a terrific return on the initial one. He's the long man. Edmonds at his own 10. Has more room again. And Bobby Joe Edmonds, another strong return all the way up to the 35-yard line. Derrick Weatherspoon in on the stop, a 26-yard return. You see the difference in just talking to Dilfer. We had a chance to speak with him yesterday. He's so much more confident about his ability, even though he hasn't played a lot of games in the NFL. Did a lot of work in the offseason with Sam Wyche.
Very confident. Him and Sam Wyche sat down with meetings 8:45 every morning from January all the way to training camp.
He said Wyche was even his receiver out on the field, just the two of them throwing balls.
That's what it takes to win in this league, a lot of preparation.
Dilfer with a long count. A lot of movement again from Mamula. Well, Trent Dilfer will throw on first down. Fires downfield. Caught. Horace Copeland. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. No flags on the play. A 64-yard strike.
Beautiful execution. Beautiful execution. They come out the first series and they hammer the ball at you. Then he comes out the first play of the next series and takes it right up top. No play action, just drops back, set, finds his man. Horace Copeland beaten Derrick Frazier all the way.
Copeland getting the start because Alvin Harper out with the injury and immediately pays dividends. Michael Husted on for the extra point.
Big-time arm right there. That's what Sam Wyche was talking to us about in the meeting yesterday. This kid can throw the ball long and hard.
So Husted on for the extra point. Some quick scoring here in the first quarter in Philadelphia. And Dilfer's 64-yard TD pass, the longest completion of his brief NFL career. Copeland hauls it in and runs the distance. Tampa Bay on top here in the first. Marquee free agent Alvin Harper, whose ankle injury will keep him out of the opener. They hope to have him available for next week. But the gentleman who replaced him in the starting lineup already with a huge catch. As you see, Harper did not play a lot in preseason because of the injuries, but Horace Copeland on that 64-yard catch for the first score for Tampa Bay. Charlie Garner takes Husted's kick in the end zone. He's going to bring it out. Garner slowed down and finally tackled, fumbled, but they blow the whistle. And it's going to be Philadelphia ball. Tony Stargell with the tackle.
Let's take a look at the touchdown we just recently. Here we have Horace Copeland down here, one-on-one with Derrick Frazier. It's a regular pro set. He's got man coverage on him. He just beats him to the inside.
Frazier certainly going to have a tough time filling in for Eric Allen.
Eric Allen, yeah, who departed free agency down to New Orleans Saints.
Not an easy test. They're pleased with his progress, but he's not a five-time Pro Bowler like Allen.
They went out and tried to get a guy in the draft like Bobby Taylor.
Looking at Notre Dame, 1st and 10. Waters on the pitch, slow down, and finally run out of bounds by Nickerson and Stargell. Let's go to our Hollywood studios and James Brown.
All right, Mike, the Panthers leaping out of the cage against the Falcons. Take a look. Frank Reich, 8-yard pass to Pete Metzelaar as the former Buffalo connection makes it 7-0 Carolina. Fumble recovery, resulting field goal. It is now 10-0 late in the first. Back to Tom Brenneman.
7-3, Tampa Bay with the early lead here in the first. Waters now 5 carries, no yards. Well, they give him a yard on that one. Cunningham's going to throw again out of the backfield. Waters grabs it. There's a little room, gets across the 20, and finally run out of bounds by Charles Dimry.
Nice job by Randall Cunningham. He checked his receivers and didn't find anybody. Went to his safety valve. Ricky Waters in the flat. And Ricky's a big, strong guy who, once he gets the catch, can take it straight upfield. He did a great job of it all last year. Led the NFL in receptions after yards after a catch.
Had 66 receptions last year. Of course, had that great Super Bowl in the 49ers victory. He had 3 touchdowns. A brand new backfield with Waters and Kevin Turner, another free agent from New England. 3rd and 5. Cunningham 4 for 4 so far. Rifle pass to Martin is complete at the 35 and a first down. Barney Bussey and Mike Magruder on the stop, but not after a 14-yard pickup.
Threw that ball on a rope. Let's take a look at the front guys up front here. They're doing a great job picking up the twist as we see on the left-hand side of the screen. Here's an open passing lane. Takes his time, sets up nice, and there's Kelvin Martin splitting the zone.
So Cunningham's connected now in all 5 of his passes. They moved the chains to Philadelphia. Excellent beginning under the new coach. Waters gets the call, maybe a yard. A host of Buccaneers in on the stop, including Eric Curry.
Nice fill. Nice fill by the linebacker. Let's take a look at Ricky Waters in 94. We were talking about that he led the NFL in yards after catches. And look at him. Beautiful. 26% of all the 49ers total offense. That's why Ray Rhodes brought the guy here. He lured him here. He wanted him. He knew if he wanted to start this West Coast offense in Philadelphia, he needed Ricky Waters to start it.
And that's why Waters came here, was because of Ray Rhodes. Loved him as an assistant at San Francisco. Has a lot of respect for him. Cunningham again. Back to throw. It's complete. Tony Scardrell brings it down as Fred Barnett with his first reception of the season.
Randall Cunningham off to a beautiful start. A lot of question marks asked about Randall all preseason. Can he adjust to this West Coast offense? He's been a 7-step drop guy all his career, even past that, even at UNLV. Now he's coming into this situation, running the West Coast offense, 3- and 5-step drop, and he's off to a beautiful start.
Tough to improve on those numbers. They just flashed his face up on the screen and the crowd cheering. He's heard some boos here in Philadelphia. Going to throw again. Quick to Barnett, who's knocked out of bounds immediately by Charles Dimmer.
Dick Barnett, Freddie Barnett, what a stud. He is the Sterling Sharp in this, the Jerry Rice in this offense. This is their go-to guy. And talking to all the coaches this week, they believe that he's just going to be fabulous. He leads all Eagles wide receivers in receptions over the history of the organization.
Pro Bowl in 92, then had a knee injury in 93, but bounced back nicely last season. Didn't pick up really anything on that one. So 2nd and 10. Charlie Garner, his first carry, and maybe a yard. Derrick Brooks right there.
Charlie Garner's had a great preseason, led the entire NFL in preseason. I know preseason doesn't mean much, but when you have 6.1 yards per carry in the preseason, you're doing something right. And this young man came back off a knee injury last year. That first 2 games, one of the only 7th player in history, NFL history, in back-to-back 100-yard games as a rookie. 3rd game, he had a patella tendon problem. He was out for the season. He came back in strong form. We'll be seeing a lot of him today.
Well, Waters knows he's going to have to share a lot of time on the backfield. 3rd and 8 for Cunningham. Flush down in the pocket. He's got plenty of room. Cunningham gets the first down, finally knocked out of bounds. Mike Magruder chases him out. But another smart play from Randall Cunningham, 12-yard pickup.
Great speed, Randall Cunningham. Offensive line does a good job again, keeping people away from him. He doesn't see anything he likes. He comes over here to the left. He still doesn't see anything. Pulls it down, sees an opening, and shoots upfield for a gain of 12. The man's not scared to pull the ball down and run with it. He's done it all his career. It's a big dimension to any kind of offense when you have a quarterback that can run like that.
Rhodes likes the versatility of Cunningham, but he's thrown the ball so well also early on. Tampa Bay leads at 7-3. Play fake. Quick toss to Turner. And Turner knocked out of bounds at about the 30. Derrick Brooks chases him out.
That's why they brought Kevin Turner in. In New England, he caught over 50 catches last year out of the backfield. He's a Tom Rathman type. He's got to come out of the backfield and catch the passes, and Randall Cunningham puts the ball beautifully, right where he can make the turn and look upfield and gain extra yards.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 22 on the defense, late hit out of bounds, 15 yards from the spot of the foul, first down.
Thomas Everett with a very costly penalty.
I'll tell you, it's easy to get frustrated in this dink and dunk offense when you're playing against them. He's already out of bounds, and he's just going to put a little added dimension onto it. Just let him know he's there. They cost him 15 yards. And again, Philadelphia Eagles inside the red zone.
Good call from the official. Cunningham is now 8 for 8. It's the 10th play. Waters cuts inside and gets inside the 10, down near about the 8-yard line. Keeps forward on the stop.
Waters doing an excellent job early in the game. He's going to get the ball 15, 20 times a game, and he knows it. That's why he wanted to come here. That time he didn't gain much off there, but you're going to have to take those along with the good ones.
A former second-round pick out of Notre Dame. Again, has terrific years in San Francisco, but says he wants to be mentioned as one of the elite running backs of the NFL. 2nd and 5, ball now at the 9. Waters again. When he's brought down, Thomas Everett comes up and makes a strong play.
Thomas Everett, that sure helped him after giving him that field position with that late hit. But he comes into the picture. He knows he has to fill. When you get to the short end of the zone, when you get to the short end of the field, your safeties have to come up and give run support. They know it was a run right off the bat, and here comes Thomas Everett right in the backfield to make a play. That puts him in good field position, 3rd, and now they're forced to do something with 6 yards to go.
Loss of 1. Everett last year had a shoulder injury all season in his first year at Tampa Bay, but still managed to start 15 times, former Pro Bowler.
Down in Dallas.
And Philadelphia is going to have to call a timeout. So final minute of the first quarter. The Eagles on the move. They trail 7-3. Tampa Bay may lead 7-3, but the Eagles have looked very strong offensively. They've certainly had the ball quite a bit early on. As you look at the offensive plays, yet they're trailing. One of those plays for Tampa Bay, though, that 64-yard touchdown pass, Dilfer to Copeland. 3rd and 6. Cunningham, pass incomplete. Intended for Barnett. Mike Magruder right there on the coverage.
Once again, they're bogged down in the red zone. It's been a big concern for them. They've got to put the ball in the end zone. You can't get inside the 20 in this league and just come away with field goals because eventually it's going to reach up and grab you.
And that's the problem they had in preseason. It was the problem they had last year, and it's the problem Ray Rhodes wants to make sure it goes away. So Gary Anderson back on the field. He had a 21-yarder earlier. This is 27. Anderson, 2 for 2 on the afternoon. Tampa Bay with the 7-6 lead. Certainly, you have to be happy if you're Ray Rhodes with the way they've moved the football because that was even inconsistent in the preseason, Bill.
Well, he went 8 for 9 on that drive, marched it right down the field. And the last one, Fred Barnett dropped. Not typical of Freddie Barnett, but it did occur. Now, once the problem is in this West Coast offense is you spread out the field. And you can move from 20 to 20 real effectively because you're spreading the defense out. But once you get the short field inside the 20, there's 22 people all bunched up inside there, and they're having problems making it work and getting the ball into the hands of the open receiver.
Waters has done a good job, although he fumbled on his first carry. He recovered it and has done some nice things out of the backfield. Excellent receiver here on the opening day of NFL 95. There's John Gruden, the offensive coordinator, the youngest in the NFL at age 32, and Cunningham loves him.
Really loves him. I'll tell you what, too. John Gruden, 1 whole year younger than Randall Cunningham. Randall Cunningham, 32, has to answer to a man who's 31 years old. You'd think that would put you in a funny situation, but Randall loves him because John Gruden is so intelligent and knows this offense so well, he's really helped Randall along with it.
Last 3 years with the Green Bay Packers, Anderson kicks off once again. Bobby Joe Edmonds, 2 solid returns already. And Edmonds does it again. Breaks a couple of tackles and is finally taken down as Bobby Joe Edmonds brought down by Bobby Taylor. What a performance early on from Bobby Joe Edmonds. He has been out of the NFL the last 5 years. He's battled injuries and an alcohol problem. He asked for a tryout, and he has come through big time.
In 1986, Bobby Joe Edmonds was a draft choice for the Seattle Seahawks, and that year he looked exactly like he did then. He went to the Pro Bowl in his rookie year as a punt returner, and he comes out here today and is giving the Tampa Bay Bucs great field position.
3 terrific returns. Former Pro Bowl returner. And then had the battle with the bottle. He's been sober now for a couple of years and is back in the NFL.
After 5 years.
Buccaneers with excellent field position once again. Flag on the play. Eric Brett charges in even after he gets hit. Mark Gunn finally brings him down to the penalty marker.
They're going to have an offsides inside. Trent Dilfer, a second-year quarterback, getting them with the hard count. You got to like that in a young guy.
So far, not too many penalties early on. Dilfer trying to find out what the call is.
Offside defense. Number 96, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So Gunn, guilty of the infraction.
There's Gunn right there. And here is Dilfer, a second-year guy. Probably gives him a head bob or something. Gives him a hard count and draws him off. You got to like that.
For a young quarterback, he's got a lot of poise, Bill.
He sure does. And Sam Wyche is giving it to him. You could tell just by the way he talked in the meeting with him yesterday, he has a lot of confidence.
1st and 5 after the penalty. Tampa Bay in Philadelphia territory. Quick shot from Dilfer. Incomplete, intended for Lawrence Dawsey. Threw it over his head. Frazier there on the coverage.
Little out pattern to get the first down. Lawrence Dawsey, he just overthrew him a little bit.
First quarter complete here in Philadelphia. Tampa Bay with a 7-6 lead. 5 coming up at the 45. On a beautiful afternoon in Philadelphia, a near sellout at Veterans Stadium. Sam Wyche says this is the year they'll turn it around. He's won 5 games, 6 games, and 6 games in his first 3 years, but he feels this team has talent and chemistry.
See, these guys, they're not sweating too bad. This guy right here is sweating. Warren Sapp's not sweating too bad. It's nice coming up from Tampa. This is nice weather for them.
No humidity, really, this afternoon. 3 tight ends in the game if you count Dave Moore, who's playing a fullback. Eric Brett immediately brought down by Andy Harmon.
Look at the rushing yards for Tampa. That's unbelievable. 0. You thought coming into this game with a 1,000-yard running back last year, they'd have a lot of rushing yards.
Red is normally a running back that gets better as the game goes on. He wears you down.
Well, if you saw what happened there, they brought Greg Jackson up to safety into the box. They need him up there, and he came in and made the play.
3rd down and 5. Red can't hear Dilfer. Still plenty of time on the clock to get it off. Flag is thrown, and Red tripped up after a couple-of-yard gain. Mike Mamula on the stop, but the yellow flag on the field once again.
See what the call is by the referee. I think it's pretty obvious. Encroachment offsides again. He got him with a hard count. And also, if you watch the offensive line shift.
Offside defense. Number 51, 5-yard penalty. First down.
If you watch the offensive line when they come to the line of scrimmage, they shift. They get on their knees and they shift down. And you have the guys jumping into the neutral zone. That's throwing them off. Then Dilfer comes up with a hard count, and then they're jumping in there again.
William Thomas with the penalty. So they'll move the chain. Running. Early second quarter. 7-6 the Buccaneers with the lead. Eric Red again is falling down as he got the ball. William Fuller tackled him, but the momentum was going straight toward the ground. Just didn't have good balance that time.
Let's take a look at Eric Rett, the man in the middle. Always rushes up the middle. That's where he gains most of his yards. 136 rushes for 515 yards last year. Left side, he only had 279. Right side, he had 216. He likes to cut back and cut that ball up into the middle of the defense.
He also likes contact. 2nd and 8. Dilfer, quick throw, complete.
And a first down.
So Dilfer's done a good job Mark McMillan on the stop. And Copeland with another reception, a 10-yard pickup.
Another out, Copeland. He runs up outside, right at the first down marker. He knows where he has to go for the first down. He hits that, turns right. Nice pass.
Copeland didn't have a great year in '94, but he's already caught a 64-yard touchdown, and he gets a first down that time here this afternoon.
Quickly becoming the go-to guy for Trent.
First down for Copeland and the Bucs. Now down to the 28-yard line. Eric Rett cuts back and doesn't go anywhere. Mark Gunn quickly stops him. Eagles have done a great job on Eric Rett.
Excellent job. It's been the backside pursuit. He's starting the ball either to the left or to the right, and he's cutting it back. And the guys that are able to get there are the guys that are pursuing to the ball.
You know, Rett did not start until the 9th game of the season last year. Still finished with over those 1,000 yards. A lot of people didn't know about him or didn't expect much, but he's a marked man this year, and that's an adjustment.
Who would have thought he'd only have 3 yards right now?
Second down and 9. Copeland goes in motion. Dilfer flushed out of the pocket. Fumbles the ball. Fuller brought him down. But they're going to say he was down. William Fuller with another sack.
Just watch Fuller. He just beats his man clean on the outside. He's lined up outside the tight end, and he just comes up on Scott Still, hits him, jacks him up, and then throws right underneath him. Just pries him open like a can. Beautiful stuff. Grabs his feet, dumps him. I don't know if that should have been a fumble or not.
Fuller, Pro Bowl last year for the Eagles. Led the team with 9.5 sacks. He's got 69.5 sacks for his career now after that one. Loss of 13, a third and 22. Dilfer looks, has some time, fires downfield, and a receiver got tripped up. Greg Jackson there on the coverage, but incomplete. And a punting situation coming up. Nice Tampa Bay.
Nice pressure by Mike Mamula. Mike Mamula, the 7th overall pick in the draft out of Boston College. Applied the pressure. Playing against a heck of a tackle in Paul Gruber. Paul Gruber was a franchise player a couple years ago, and they retained him for a $2.5 million annual salary. Consider him one of the best in the league. And here this rookie is applying pressure early.
Roby with his second punt. Kelvin Martin is back. Goes to the corner. And it goes out of bounds. Philadelphia will take over. They trail 7-6 on a pair of field goals. Philadelphia, the Eagle fans like the way their team has moved the football early. They have not been able to get touchdowns once in the red zone. A couple of field goals has them down 7-6. Cunningham, quick fake, incomplete, intended for Calvin Williams, but he couldn't hang on after a tough hit from Tony Stargell.
Let's take a look at Warren Sapp, last year's Lombardi Trophy winner. Ejected immediately into the starting right defensive tackle spot. And that right defensive tackle spot, it's a tough one to get used to. They threw me into the Wolves when I was a rookie, and I can remember my first game I had to play against was Mike Webster of the Pittsburgh Steelers. What an introduction into the NFL that was. He's playing against a good one here today, 5-time Pro Bowler, Guy McIntyre. We'll keep a close eye on him and see how he fares today.
Second and 10, Martin will go in motion. Cunningham again to throw. Quick drop. Kelvin Martin has it, has the blocker ahead of him, and gets up to about the 21-yard line. Hardy Nickerson on the tackle, a 6-yard pickup. Sapp, their first-round pick. They actually had 2 of them last year.
Warren Sapp does a nice job on that play. When you run the screen, defensively, if they get the ball out there, you have to attack it with your corners, outside in, with your linebacker, inside out, and a chase lineman. Let's take a look at Warren Sapp. He's going to make contact. He sees it really. Starts rushing past her. He reacts right away. He knows the screen. He's going to come down the line of scrimmage and keep pursuing until finally he gets in on the tackle. Nice job by Warren Sapp.
3rd and 4. Penalty marker again. Pass incomplete. Waters out of the backfield. Couldn't get it, but the yellow flags have been dropped once again.
Offside defense. Number 75, 5-yard penalty. First down.
Eric Curry, a former first-round pick, Ray Rhodes. certainly happy with what's going on so far.
Here's Warren Sapp. Look at last 3 years at Miami. That's pretty good stats for a guy that was only there for 3 years. Came out early as a junior. Lombardi Trophy winner as a junior and was an Outland Trophy finalist also.
So first down off the penalty. Cunningham rolls out. He's chased by Ahanotu and is brought down. Cheating Ahanotu with excellent pressure. Sapp right there as well.
Sapp wasn't fooled at all. Watch this. I think it's a naked boot. I don't think it was a miss. I don't think he missed the handoff. I think it was a naked boot. He comes rushing upfield hard, penetrating hard. He sees it. He reacts quick, gets over there, and gets in on the tackle. Look at the big guy. Look at him chugging around the field there. He's not sure which way the ball's going, but he's going to make sure he gets a piece of it.
He might be 281 pounds, but they love his quickness. Very explosive. 5-yard loss, so a 2nd and 15. Cunningham looks, fires, complete. Little short of the first down. Fred Barnett on the reception. Right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
All right, Mike, an update on San Francisco, New Orleans. How often have you seen this? Young, little 5-yard hitch route by Rice. Take a look at the block. John Taylor gives him downfield. Rice 50 yards to pay dirt. San Francisco leading 7-0. That one in the second. Let's take you back to Philadelphia. Mike Breen and Bill Moss.
Some things never changed in San Francisco. And here in Philadelphia, Randall Cunningham with a 3rd and 3. Just under 9.5 to play in the second quarter. 7-6 Tampa lead. Cunningham chased out again. Hardy Nickerson with some excellent pressure, and he's enjoying every minute of it.
We'll take a look at Hardy Nickerson right here. He's going to make sure he does not fool. He's not fooled at all. He sees the boot. He stays right with it. Avoids guys McIntyre's block with his quickness. And is all over Randall Cunningham.
Tommy Hutton, a rookie free agent with his first punt.
Tampa Bay had an unbelievable preseason 3rd down percentage. Opponents only had 26% against him.
Hutton, who's a lefty, gets off a beautiful kick. Bobby Joe Edwards back at his 24 and is immediately brought down. Kevin Turner, an excellent special teams player with New England, does it here in Philadelphia. Eagles still trail in the second quarter. Randall Cunningham and the Eagles trailing early on. Cunningham did not finish last year very well. The team lost 7 in a row. He was not getting along with former head coach Rich Kotite. But now with Ray Rhodes, he's on the way back. And at the other end of the spectrum, a young quarterback, Sam Wyche, really feels he could be big time like a Marino and a Kelly. He's already thrown a 64-yard touchdown pass this afternoon. 1st and 10 for the Buccaneers. Play fake on Dilfer, fires downfield, complete. And Copeland once again.
Found his man, Horace Copeland. These guys are going to get together, it looks like. Boy, I bet they can't wait. I bet they can't wait till him, Horace Copeland, and Alvin Harper get together. Trent Dilfer's going to have a field day. Watch his pattern here. He just running a go. Then he throws on the brakes and takes it outside. He puts the ball right on the money. Sam Wyche says Dilfer throws a nice, soft ball. Easy to catch.
Copeland's 3rd reception. Another play fake from Dilfer. Looks downfield. He's whacked. Fires it downfield. Incomplete. Broken up by Mark McMillan. And Dilfer is down and he's hurt.
Mike Mamula, rookie out of Boston College, turned the corner fast on Paul Gruber. And just as he released the ball, he blindsided Trent Dilfer. He hit him hard. I don't think anything's injured, but he took a hard shot. Let's take another look at it if we can.
Dilfer fired it down, had a lot on the ball. McMillan made a nice play to break it up, but Dilfer paid for it.
There it is, play action. Comes back, sets it up. Out of the right-hand corner screen. See Mamula? Look at him charging. Puts it right into him. Helmet hits the ground. When your helmet hits the turf that hard that it comes down and smacks it, you're going to get your bell rung. He's probably seen a little bit of stars. He'll shake it off.
For Casey Weldon, their backup quarterback, he will come in while Dilfer learns the alphabet again.
Casey Weldon played for the Barcelona Dragons over in the World League. And you know, he holds the longest touchdown pass in the World League last year. And who did he throw to? His partner, Tyree Davis, also was part.
Davis, one of the backup wide receivers. Weldon played a couple of games last year with the Buccaneers as well as the third-string quarterback. Hands it off Eric Rett, and there's the first big game for Eric Rett. And he's close to a first down. Dilfer taking over to the side as Rett picks up some slack after struggling early on. Greg Jackson on the tackle, and he looks okay.
Dilfer looks like he's doing okay. He doesn't have any smelling salt, so you know he's okay, and he's talking with Sam Wyche.
Well, he's chasing him. He wants to
He
go
wants
back
to
in.
get back in there. Nice pickup. Very nice pickup.
You know, in some situations, you can see a quarterback and a head coach, they have their problems, and that's just the nature of the beast, but they seem to have a great relationship.
Well, when you're young and you're learning the game, it's easy to get along with anybody because they're your teacher. But then when you become authoritative and you think you know everything, that's when all the problems arise.
So Dilfer back in. Weldon does his job for a quick play. He is a tough kid, Trent Dilfer. Age 23, 6'4", 235, got terrific size. And they gave him a first down on that play. So Rett with a 10-yard pickup. Tyree Davis in motion, Rett again. And bumps into the line, gets a few extra yards. A host of Eagles in on that stop.
Let's take a look at Mamula. He was in on the tackle again. They're running the ball at him. Here's a guy who's 250 pounds. They have him listed at. He looks like a linebacker. He looks like he's 245 when I saw him. He comes up and he's holding that corner up. He's going to test him. Everyone says, well, this guy's a pass rusher. Talked to Ray Rhodes. He says, you'll be surprised. This guy can play the run pretty well, and he's showing it today.
The 7th overall pick in the 95 draft. Second down and 6 for Tampa Bay. Rett hesitates, now flies into the middle, and he's got the first down again for Tampa Bay.
Beautiful job on the cutback. Here's Dave Moore. He goes in motion. Rett starts this way and then cuts it back up inside.
All right. Stay back, Jim.
Takes the handoff to the right. Sees it's occupied, cuts it back up inside. That's why the guy has so many yards rushing up the middle. Sees the open hole. He's the same size, the same kind of runner as Emmitt Smith. Went to the same school, University of Florida. The Tampa Bay Bucs really like this young runner.
And he gets his second first down here on this drive.
That'll do it. 2 carries on this drive, 2 first downs. Anybody will like it.
You mentioned Emmitt Smith. He broke Smith's records at Florida. Was a second-round pick for Sam Wyche last year. And again, early on, didn't play a lot, but then started in week number 9. Dilfer took the whack, but he appears okay. First and 10 again. Dave Moore in motion. Eric Rett, the workhorse. Stopped after maybe a yard. Greg Jackson helping out as he came in on the stop. And the officials blow the whistle.
Mark Gavea did a real nice job on this play, as did Greg Jackson. Here's Gavea. Jackson comes up in the corner over here as the 8th man in the box. He takes the handoff, comes over here. You'll see it. In motion, Dave Moore takes the handoff, starts that way. See Greg Jackson come into the picture, make it. See Mark Gavea make the fill. Nice job defensively by the Eagles.
Second and 9. Dilfer, quick drop, fires, incomplete, intended for Lawrence Dawsey.
Eagles applying some pressure up the middle. That's what they need to do.
Derrick Frazier with good coverage that time, Billy.
There's Big Gun. Having a nice day, rushing the passer up the middle.
A former Jet whose career has been plagued by injuries, but he impressed. He was their leading sack man in the preseason. This is something they want to improve on these third downs. 3rd and 9 for the young Dilfer. Just over 6 minutes remaining. In this second quarter, Buccaneers lead at 7-6. Dilfer under pressure. Mamula's right there. Flag thrown. Almost intercepted by Gavea. But it looks like we're going to have a holding penalty on this one.
Knew exactly what that call was. He had a lot of time back there. He was dancing around, holding.
Number 74 in the offense. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Here's Mamula. He's going to come to the outside. Paul Gruber is going to get his fingers on him because he has to stay with him too long. Here's the play. Mamula, watch it. Working Gruber. We get the chip on the back, too. Still saying, this guy moves his legs all the time. He doesn't quit. That's what the coaches like to see in a young guy. After you get stuffed the first time, you just keep your feet moving. Keep working. This guy has a big-time motor.
Emmett Thomas, their defensive coordinator, loves that about him. Says he works as hard as any first-round draft pick he's ever been around. As Reggie Roby to kick, Kelvin Martin to return. Had a beauty his first one. Gorgeous high kick from Roby. And Martin with a fair catch at the 10. Now that's why they got Reggie Roby. That was a beauty. Eagles deep in their own territory. They'll take over here in the second. Binoculars, I guess if you pay him all that money, you want to see him up close and personal.
He bought the team 2 years ago, and last year, of course, he got into the much heated confrontation with Rich Cote, very much publicized and talked about. And he fired him after the season, brought in his man, Ray Rhodes. And he likes the way Rhodes runs things.
Eagles once again start off deep in their own territory. This time of their own 10. Reggie Roby with a couple of nice punts to Tampa Bay. Cunningham to throw on first down out of the backfield. Nice catch from Waters, and he gets across the 15. Run out of bounds by Derrick Brooks.
Ricky Waters, that's what makes him so valuable to this West Coast offense, is his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. And Randall Cunningham, if you watch here, does a nice job of putting the ball in front of him. So he doesn't have to turn around. He just looks upfield now and makes extra yards. You look for that in a quarterback.
Excellent hands. That's his 4th reception, 33 yards for Waters. That's what makes him so dangerous. This time he gets to run it. And doesn't have a lot of room. Quickly brought down. Mark Wheeler in on the stop.
Well, he's getting his chance to carry the ball. He said he wanted to come here because he wanted to carry the ball more. And also, he liked the I formation. We see a little bit of that here with Kevin Turner leading the way up the middle. That's what a tailback loves. Loves I formation stuff. Have somebody in front of you blocking.
And he knows because of Garner's ability that he's not going to get the ball perhaps as much as he thought. Garner's just too good.
Garner's a great player. You've got to find a way to get them both in the backfield.
3rd and 2. Barnett goes in motion. Cunningham, quick pass. Calvin Williams. And it's brought down. It appears he's got the first down. Charles Dimry with the tackle.
Nice job with Dimry staying with him. But you know he's going to be uptight. He's got to be uptight on his man because he knows where the first down marker is. He doesn't give him much room off the line of scrimmage. Completions were all over him, but just still enough for the first down.
That's kind of the quintessential play for this type of offense. Just enough to get you the little dink that'll get you to move the chain.
And then you get the dunk.
Maybe now it's time for a dunk. 1st and 10. Flag thrown on the play. Cunningham under pressure. Santana Dotson brings him down. But again, a flag on the play. Referee Gary Lane getting a lot of airtime here on the first half. One of the players has a call.
They always do.
Rhodes trying to figure out what the call is, but it appears. Again, the Eagles will bring it back.
Illegal formation, offense. No man on the end of the line. There was an eligible receiver. Penalty is declined. 2nd down.
Sam Wyche hoping to turn it around this year, and it starts on the road. They had some big road wins at the end of '94. So a 2nd and 11 coming up for Philadelphia. Turner, the lone setback. Cunningham under pressure again, and he's sacked once again. Eric Curry, the former first-round pick, with a big play.
These guys are going to come right up the middle. Look at Brad Culpepper. They're alternating their defensive line to keep them fresh. Here's Culpepper here. He's going to come right up the middle. These guys are coming all over the place. I mean, they're rotated, they're fresh, they're beating the guys. But let's not forget, Philadelphia Eagles offensive line has been juggled around all preseason. They're trying to find the right group.
He's close to fumbling that ball. They blew the quick whistle, so Culpepper and Curry. setting up the 3rd and 18. Ball all the way back to the 12. And more whistles and more flags. Didn't have that a lot in the first quarter, but they've more than made up for it here in the second. And here's some boos from the Philly fans.
You know, last year, Mike, the Eagles led the NFL in holding calls and first false starts.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
They get him there for delay of game. Ran the clock down.
So the fans welcoming
What a
Coach
difference
Rhodes.
Ray made. They also call him the Ray of Hope here in Philadelphia. There he is, Ray Bob Rhodes. 5 Super Bowl rings. Got to go to his other hand now.
I'm sure he won't mind. 3rd and 23 now for Philadelphia. Cunningham, a quick drop completes to Barnett. He's knocked out of bounds at about the 20. Way short of the first down, but they give their punter, Mr. Hutton, a little more room.
Now, a lot of people will knock that they're throwing the ball underneath the first down marker. They don't understand. Fred Barnett's a guy that if he can catch the ball, he can turn it upfield and get those extra 6 yards.
Well, the Philly fans knocking it with a little booze. They wanted him to go for it, but Hutton back out for the punt. And Bobby Joe Edmonds once again for the return.
He's dangerous.
He's certainly shown it so far. Especially on the kickoff return. Big pressure, almost blocked, but Hutton does a nice job getting it off. Edmonds fields it back at his own 28. Doesn't have a lot of room, and is finally brought down.
No roughing call. They said he tipped it. The referee said he tipped it.
Derrick Oden on the tackle, 52-yard punt. And time now for our Affleck trivia question. Who was the last 49er defensive coordinator not to get an NFL head coaching job? We'll have the answer when we return. Once again, our Affleck trivia question for this afternoon. Who was the last San Francisco 49er defensive coordinator not to get an NFL head coaching job? Well, we know it's not Ray Rhodes. It's Bill McPherson, who was their coordinator from 89 to 93. Tampa Bay leading 7-6. Just over 3 minutes remaining in this second quarter. Buccaneers on their own 32, 1st and 10. Silver back to throw, fires incomplete. Intended for Dawsey. Check that.
Let's take a look at the life of a punter. They've got it made all through training camp. They sit around, all the linemen, everybody's mad at him. But watching him here, he's going to take his hits right here. Curtis Buckley comes in, knocks him down, tips the ball. He's got to get back up, run downfield, and then somebody else puts the hit on him. Oh, you got to love it. They're going to take their shots at those kickers.
Feeling the heat here early. 2nd and 10. Armstrong in motion. Eric Red hit behind the line of scrimmage, but the second effort, and he gets maybe 4 yards. Finally brought down. Michael Zordich came up to make the tackle.
Rhett's going to make his yards. He is going to make his yards. He doesn't care. Even if he's tackled, he's always falling forward. Great second effort on the play.
He's starting now to get the feel out there. 28 yards on 10 carries, but the first 5 he hardly had anything.
Well, you know, they say as this guy gets going, he's like a locomotive train. Starting out chugging real slow, turn. Then when he gets a full head of steam, he's going to bring it to you.
3rd and 6. Jerry Ellison has come into the game. He's split out to the right side as a wide receiver. Moving on the line again. Dilfer under some pressure. Quick drop-off. It's complete, but it's going to be short of the first down. Kurt Govea in on the stop. Red out of the backfield. Just comes up a couple of yards short.
We'll take another look at it from an end zone shot. I'll tell you, Kurt Govea does a nice job here.
So we have our 2-minute warning. Opening day for the 1995 NFL season. Tampa Bay with the early lead. On the punt on 4th and 2. It's a 2 beauties so far.
Been in the league a long time. Using down in Miami for years. This guy can boom him. He's always picking him over 50 yards. 258 pounds. He wears a wrist watch out there while he's punting. What do you think he's looking for? I think he's looking to see if it's dinner time or not, huh?
34-year-old and unrestricted free agent. Delvin Martin is back to receive. Although Wyche likes to try some wild things, even on punch. I don't know if Roby's the one to do it. This one not as high, but another solid punch. And Philadelphia is going to get the ball back at about their 15. I want to remind you, coming up next Sunday, join host Sybil Shepherd and Seinfeld's Jason Alexander, along with the likes of Heather Locklear, Jerry Seinfeld, George Clooney, Candace Bergman, Jimmy Smits, and more, as Fox presents the biggest night of television on television. It's the 47th Annual Emmy Awards next Sunday at 8 p.m., 7 Central, right here on Fox.
This guy, you think he'll be in it?
Mike Mamula, their first-round pick. Very laid back when we spoke to him the other day about his first NFL game.
His on-field and off-field candor is completely different. This must be a Jekyll and Hyde. He almost fell asleep while we were talking to him.
You don't think it could have been us? Cunningham to throw on first, and it's deflected, intended for Ricky Waters.
Batted down by Santana Dotson, and that's what they want out of this guy. They want this guy to come in and have the pass rushing abilities he showed as a rookie. He came in as a rookie and had a bunch of sacks, but then now he's backing up his second team. He's in the All-Nation right now.
Had 10 sacks his rookie year, was NFC Rookie of the Year, but has really, in the past few years, he's taken a step backwards.
He's looking, showing good right there.
Second and 10. Ball again back at their own 14. Roby's done a good job making Philly start deep every time. Derrick Curry is big pressure, but he gets it off to Waters. And Waters falls down. A flag on the play, however. Cunningham did a great job just getting rid of that football.
He sure did. Eric Curry ducked underneath the block. And they also have a penalty. I think it's going to be holding on Guy McIntyre in the screen. Here's Eric Curry.
There you go.
We'll take a look at Eric Curry here in a second. Watch him duck underneath and apply the pressure to Cunningham. Here he is right here. He's going to come right underneath the block as they're trying to set up the screen and be all over Randall Cunningham.
Holding, offense, number 62. Half the distance to the goal line. Repeat second down.
Waters couldn't block him because he knew he had to get out. He was out there to catch the pass, and Curry had a free shot.
Hey, as a defensive lineman, anytime you get a free shot at a quarterback, you take it.
You mentioned that stat about Philadelphia. That's something Ray Rhodes has really worked on, but it's hard, especially when you have all the changes he's had in the offensive line during the course of the preseason.
That's right. You get a feel for how you work as a unit. Offensive line, it's real important to have continuity.
Second and 17 after the holding penalty. Eddie West in motion. Quick drop, Cunningham under pressure. Complete to West, the tight end. And he gets the cross to about the 13-yard line. Thomas Everett in on the stop. And I want to remind you, coming up at halftime, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have all the scores and highlights of the Doctors' halftime report, plus their predictions on who's going to stumble and who will score early in the season. So get ready. Coming up, the Doctors' halftime report. Back close to the original line of scrimmage for the Eagles, but a 3rd and 11.
Randall did a nice job just getting that ball off. He had people hovering around his feet trying to pull him down.
Tampa Bay last in the NFL in sacks last year, starting to put on some good pressure. Cunningham under fire again. Complete. Kelvin Martin, the reception of the first down. 18-yard pickup.
Nice job watching, holding on to the ball, being patient by Randall Cunningham. He waits until he finds the receiver open.
Cunningham's been very sharp, though.
Kelvin Martin, watch. He sees the zone right here. He splits it. He turns it inside underneath and doesn't come into the linebackers where the safety's going to be. Finds a way to get open. Excellent job. And he wants people to know about it. They're looking at him banging his chest. Line does a good job here protecting him. Eric Curry takes a swat at him. He just steps up to the pocket. Finds the open receiver. Nice job by Randall Cunningham. That's what this offense needs. It needs a quarterback that's going to be able to have the patience to find them, to find the open guys. Because things aren't always going to go their way.
Some pretty special numbers. You'll see numbers at high percentage in this West Coast offense. Again, both times they got down, they couldn't punch it into the end zone. They came away with 2 field goals. But he has been sharp in running.
He's done an excellent job running the offense and moving the offense down into scoring position. Now they got to punch it into the end zone.
Less than a minute to play here in the first half. Still a long way to go. for the Eagles. Cunningham under pressure from Curry. He's going to run. Still on his feet. Past Nickerson. Big gain. And he's close to midfield. Broke a couple of tackles. Finally brought down by Lonnie Martz after a 20-yard pickup. Clock still moving.
That's what Randall Cunningham does better than anybody else in the National Football League. And it's not just of recent. It's been as long as he's been in the league. He just steps up to the pocket, doesn't see anybody, pulls the ball down, and takes off upfield. We talked to John Gruden about it. Hey, are you worried about him scrambling around too much? Are you worried about him taking off? He said, no way. That's just another added dimension to the offense. He didn't have that luxury up in the Green Bay with Brett Favre. Brett Favre would drop back. He couldn't scramble that quick.
Well, no one from the quarterback position has run for more. But the key is him making decisions on when to do it. Ray Rhodes feels that he's starting to get the feel of it. So we stop the clock by throwing it down 2nd and 10. All at their own 49. Quick drop. Complete. Jimmy Johnson, the tight end, but they only gain a yard.
Nice
the
play
clock will
by
move.
Tony Stargell came up, and they cut Tony Stargell at the end of training camp. Then they bring him back onto the squad. And he's out there, and he comes up and keeps him 1-yard gain.
So the Eagles call a timeout. That's their last one. Cunningham will have 19 seconds. The ball right at midfield. 3-time Pro Bowler Randall Cunningham. Last one was in 1990, though. Ray Rhodes hoping that he can get back to that form.
You know what was interesting on that drive? They know they got the ball, and it was under 2 minutes because they had the 2-minute warning. They came out with regular personnel. They didn't come out with 4 wides or anything. They came out with their regular personnel. And the West Coast offense does it. They do it in short yardage. They do it on goal line. You don't see much substituting. They go with what they have. They think that it is a complete package, and they can do everything out of the personnel they have on the field.
So Gary Anderson perhaps to get a try before the half ends. He had a 50-yarder last year, so can still do it despite being 36 years old. 3rd down and 9, all at midfield. Cunningham has time, fires downfield, throws it out of bounds, intended for Williams, and a 4th down coming up.
Had plenty of time on that read. Just missed through it a little bit. You're going to have that. You're throwing the ball this many times in the game. This first real bad throw of the game I've seen, Mike.
He's been very patient. Again, he's run a couple of times as Hutton comes on the punt, but he's made the sound decisions on when to and when to wait the extra seconds to throw the football. Hutton, a lefty, with a beautiful punt his first time up. Bobby Joe Edmonds, who's had a terrific first half in his return to the NFL. He'll be back. Good pressure again. Nice high kick from Hutton. Edmonds going to let it bounce. And it'll go into the end zone. So with a couple of seconds left here in the first half, we'll have one more play as Cunningham has to be pleased with his first half performance. Tampa will come out for the final play of the first half, plus, of course, the penalty. Trent Dilfer started off strong, meanwhile, for Tampa Bay, through that 64-yard strike to Copeland. Then he got his bell rung, had to sit out of play, and it's been a little inconsistent. Much to do because Derrick took a while to get started, but overall not a bad half for Dilfer.
Not a bad half for either quarterback. I think the coaches have to be very pleased with both quarterbacks, what they've done so far on opening day. You have to be real excited about Trent Dilfer. He's just a young guy. This is his first opening day start, and he's going to take a knee here. They're happy with their 7-6 lead at the end of that time.
Excuse me, Billy. That will end the first half here in Philadelphia. Dilfer's touchdown pass gives Tampa Bay a 7-6 lead. We'll continue with the Dockers halftime after this message from your local station.
So that's going to be a problem for him that they need to correct in the second half.
So far, though, he's made a good job in terms of deciding when to run with the football and when to try and find one of the receivers. He has been sacked 4 times, so he's done it under adverse conditions.
He has. Tampa Bay's applying a great pass rush. It's surprising to me to see how great they're rushing against them. The problem is that the Philadelphia offensive line isn't gelling quite as well as they should as a unit right yet, due to all the position switches. Now, Randall is doing a great job of finding his receivers, and when he doesn't have his receiver, he pulls the ball down and takes off.
Meanwhile, Trent Dilfer of Tampa Bay, again, much is on his shoulders. If they want to snap the losing streak of 12 straight years of double-digit losses, he's got to come through. And like a typical guy who's a young quarterback, he's had some good moments and he's had some bad moments.
Well, you're going to experience that with a young quarterback. And you just have to be patient and have to deal with it, okay? He's going to have some great plays. And you saw, again, he ran around here. Let me see, here he is, right there, okay? There's the guy. He does an excellent job of finding his receivers. He sets up in the pocket well. He's got good protection. And he's using his receivers. Horace Copeland has been a great partner of his throughout the first half.
Copeland with 3 receptions, including this 64-yard scoring strike. And Copeland able to get it into the end zone. That made it 7-3. Tampa Bay went up. Philadelphia came back, scored another field goal to make it 7-6. Gary Anderson with a couple. But Dilfer also had to sit down for a play.
That's right. Mike Mamula, the rookie pass rushing specialist, put the hit on him right here. And it's not the hit, it's when his helmet smacks the turf right there. You see it. It rung his bell a little bit. And when he came back in the second half, in the second quarter, he was a little shook up. Didn't quite do the things as well as he did in the first quarter.
Always a concern with concussions and people talking about how the quarterbacks have to suffer. They've instituted some rules to make it a little bit easier on the quarterbacks. Mamula with a clean hit, though, on that particular play.
It was a clean hit. It was a great effort, too. And he's first half, great first half against Paul Gruber, one of the finest offensive tackles in the league. This young guy is off to a good start.
See, the Eagles had the football for a long time. They also had a number of penalties, as you see our first half stats. Tampa Bay did a good job at times early on, but then struggled a bit. And Philadelphia, Randall Cunningham with a strong first half with 110 yards. Michael Usted will kick it off to start quarter number 3. Charlie Garner to your left. Kelvin Martin on the right. Martin's had a couple of nice returns this afternoon. And we might see Garner a little bit more in the backfield, as Ricky Waters, although he's done a good job catching the football, he's been stopped a bit running it. So Usted starts off the third quarter. Kelvin Martin in his own end zone is going to bring it out. Martin gets one block and is brought down at about the 16-yard line. Darnell Stevens on the stop. Want to ask you about Entertainment Weekly saying that if you're sick of Seinfeld, switch over to New York Undercover, TV's funkiest cop show. While the other networks are still showing reruns, Fox has brand new action-packed episodes of New York Undercover. Thursday at 9, 8 Central. Randall Cunningham with his first possession of the second half. First half was strong. Again, they didn't get it into the end zone, but he did a good job directing the offense. Once again, though, they start deep in their own territory. Ricky Waters has the blocker ahead of him, cuts outside, and gets close to a first down.
Well, you can tell Ray Rhodes went in at halftime and said, hey, guys, we need to run the ball more. We need better yards rushing. And then they come out the second half, and here they open up with Ricky Waters dashing big hole on the right side of the line of scrimmage.
So a 9-yard pickup for Ricky Waters.
10 of 16 in the first half, and he's off to a heck of a start here early in the second half. Let's see if he can continue.
2nd and 1. Waters gets the call, and it's close to the first down. Lonnie Martz on the tackle.
There's Hardy Nickerson. He was in on the play also.
Call him the heart and soul of this defense. Former Pro Bowler.
Studies the game, Mike. Here's where this linebacker really takes the time and tries to pick up any kind of tendencies the offense might have, so he's ready to be there on game day.
Rusty Tillman, their defensive coordinator, says that he's one guy that practices just as hard as he plays, and he loves the fact that he studies the game. First down for Cunningham. Flushed out of the pocket, but gets it off to Kevin Turner. And Turner with a nice move to get up to about the 35-yard line. Nickerson knocks him out of bounds.
Great job on the screenplay. We've seen this by Philadelphia. Their timing has been perfect.
So a 10-yard pickup, another first down.
There's Nickerson. Following the play, he stops and says, uh-oh, not going over there. I got to get in on the play. That's hustle. That's just pure hustle right there.
he was all the way on the other side of the field.
That's what Nickerson's all about, according to the coaching staff. So another first down picked up. Waters tries to cut inside and does. Another strong game from Waters as the Eagle running game starting to take shape. A 6-yard pickup. Mark Wheeler on the tackle.
That's what he does so well. He makes that cut. He saw a hole. That was a toss. Anytime you have a toss, you watch here, he's tossing. Randall turns around, tossing the ball. That play designed to go outside. Barrett Brooks can't get his man hooked, so Ricky Waters just cuts it up inside, finds the open hole there. Nice pickup.
Again, this offensive line needs to get some chemistry. You see the difference in who's running the football so far this afternoon. Second down and 4. Cunningham, quick drop. Calvin Williams has got it. Breaks the tackle. And gets the first down. Hardy Nickerson on the stop. 11-yard pickup.
Let's talk about the other linebacker in this unit, Derrick Brooks. He got in on that play there. There's a young kid out of Florida State, great athlete. They just have to bring him along slow and show him and tell him exactly what points he can rush and do things. He's going to get the whole concept. They really think this guy's going to be a heck of a player for him in the future.
He's been overshadowed by Sapp, who was the other first-round pick. Brooks late in the first round, but he had a terrific preseason. First down, as Waters really nowhere to go. The host of Tampa Bay.
I'll tell you,
on the tackle.
I'll tell you, they tried to run a trap play there, but Warren Sapp does a great job blowing up. Watch Warren Sapp right here. He's going to put penetration in here so the guy McIntyre can't get around and the whole trap play gets bunched up. Boy, I'll tell you, that's a great job by Sapp. That's what they brought him in here to do. Get in the backfield.
Lost on the play, 2nd and 11. Cunningham with a fake. Lobs it. He's got Ed West. And West quickly brought down Thomas Everett with a nice stop. Lanny Martz also in the area. So much expected to help put some pressure on the quarterback.
Rusty Tillman came in and looked at this defensive group and said, we need to do something. Talk to Sam Wyche, and look what they did. They go out in the draft, and they get 6 defensive picks. The first 6 are defensive picks. Then they got an offensive lineman. Then they came back again with their 8th pick and got another defender. So they answered the question. They got a bunch of young guys back there, but they're building a strong defense.
2 of them, of course, started. 3rd and 6. Cunningham at times gets knocked down. Incomplete. Hardy Nickerson with the deflection.
Watch Hardy Nickerson. That stuff that's right in the middle of your screen. He reads the play all the way. Hardy Nickerson's right here. He's going to read the quarterback. He sees the back stay in the block, and he just jumps up and almost picks off the ball. See, the back keeps him in there. Back block and keeps him in check. He's in the passing lane, jumps up, bats the ball down. Great job by Nickerson.
So Tommy Hutton out on 4th down. Bobby Joe Edmonds back at his own 10. Edmonds fields his calls for the fair catch at about the 13. So Tampa Bay will have their first possession of the second half. They still lead it 7-6. Buccaneers take control, their first possession of the second half off their own 13. They still lead it off that early TD pass. Dave Moore goes in motion. Eric Rhett goes nowhere.
Boy, there's a hole there, too, Mike. I'll tell you, Eric Rhett is the second time I've seen him slip as soon as he gets the handoff. Not wet field, not wet conditions. I'm very surprised. Maybe he has the wrong shoes on or something. Something you take a look at. Who would have thought he would 11 rushes for 29 yards right now? This guy, first 2 games he played at 100-yard rushes last year, had over 1,000 yards.
2nd and 9. Rhett gets another call and quickly brought down William Fuller, the first man to hit him.
Nice job by William Fuller. He wasn't fooled at all on that play. Let's take a look at Fuller right here. He's going to come in and just blow up that play. He's going to read it perfect. Upfield, inside shoulder, pushes it, comes right back in. Makes it. That's nice. That's nice work.
Loss of 3 on the play. 3rd and 12. Fans enjoying the defensive sequence. They have struggle on third down. Dilfer under some pressure, fires, intended for Goffey, incomplete. Good coverage from Derrick Frazier.
Derrick Frazier was right on him, but Trent Dilfer threw that ball a little underneath him. He didn't have anybody in front of him. Good protection by the line. Only four-man rush. CC standing there telling him, just relax in there. You had the time. Just make the right decision. Make the throws. Ray Rhodes obviously got to be happy with that defensive effort. Had him backed up. This is what creates field position. See if Reggie Roby can get him out of it.
Roby looked sharp early on in his own end zone. Kelvin Martin back at his own 45-yard line. Roby gets off a good kick. Martin has to backtrack. Gets it at the 36 and quickly runs out of bounds. Excellent punt from Reggie Roby. 54 yards, a 4-yard return, but the Eagles with some good field position. Certainly wants his troops to do some more offensively as they have struggled, not had any consistency in moving the football.
You can see who he's yelling at. He's yelling at his offensive lineman. He's saying, come on, guys. We need to push them off the line of scrimmage. We need to give Eric Redd some time to get upfield, see a hole, make the cut.
50-year-old Wyche in his 4th year with the Bucs, 16-32 here at Tampa Bay.
What an offensive mind he has.
Cunningham in good field position. A rarity for the Eagles this time. And Wood is immediately brought down. Derrick Brooks hits into the backfield. Another loss for the Eagles.
And who's there with him but his partner, the other first-round draft choice, Warren Sapp. Great job by both these guys. They weren't fooled here.
Everything was so sharp for the Eagles offense early, and they're starting to bump into each other a little bit right now. Loss of 4 on the play.
Both teams are trying to run the ball. They know they have to run the ball. That's what's going to set up the pass.
2nd down and 14. Cunningham looks to throw. Complete. Kevin Turner out of the backfield. And gets back to the original line of scrimmage before Lonnie Martin knocks him out of bounds.
Again, that's what they brought this blue-collar worker in here for. He's just going to catch some passes in the flat out of the backfield. He's going to stay in there and block and help the offensive lineman pick up the extra rusher, and he doesn't care. And he's going to play special teams. This guy's a team player all the way around.
4th year out of Alabama. Didn't run the ball all that much last year, but 52 receptions for Bill Parcells up in New England. But they let him go. Did not match the offer sheet. 3rd and 10. Barnett goes in motion. Cunningham has some time. Complete. Calvin Williams immediately hit by Dimry, and they'll be short of the 1st down.
Made him throw it underneath. Had no choice. Everybody was covered. Nice job by Charles Dimry. The crowd's booing here. 3rd down's been tough for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, that's tough. A lot of boos in week 1. You know that you're in a tough down.
They don't give you any breathing room here. Any mistakes, they're breathing down your neck. They're breathing down our neck here, Mike.
Tommy Hutton once again on the punt. Bobby Joe Edmonds to return. He's back at his own 19. Flag thrown on the play. Beautiful kick from Hutton. Edmonds has a little room but can't go anywhere. Knocked down at about the 14. A 45-yard punt from Hutton for the penalty marker. Gary Lane will check with his crew to find out the call. Both punters have done the job. Hutton, the free agent, and Roby, the long-time veteran.
We'll see what the call is here.
Illegal formation on the kicking team. Number 79 was not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
So they'll bring it back as Greg Jefferson with the penalty. George Stewart, the special teams coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's done a great job. They had excellent special teams last year. As Hutton will get another chance. Bobby Joe Edmonds now moves up a little bit at about his 18-yard line. Just under 7 minutes remaining in this third. Haven't had a lot of scoring since some early strikes by both teams. This one not as good. Edmonds fields it at the 21. And gets knocked down at about the 33-yard line, where Tampa Bay will take over. Weatherspoon on the tackle. 37-yard punt, 12-yard return. Still for the Bucs to take over. Actually, kind of a cool day here in Philadelphia. Not a lot of humidity, although temperatures up near the 80s. Trent Dilfer and the Buccaneers certainly used to some hot weather. As Dilfer took that nasty hit from Mamula that knocked him out for a play in the second quarter, and he struggled a little bit since.
Well, he might have been knocked out for more than a play. He may be still knocked out.
Sat down just for the one play and quickly came back in. 1st and 10 from their own 34. Jackie Harris in motion. Dilfer under pressure. Mamula's after him, fires downfield, completes to Copeland, who's knocked out of bounds in Philadelphia territory.
Nice completion. Nice completion. But let's take a look at Mike Mamula and the pressure that he's applying. This guy keeps his legs going all the time. Watch his motor here. Watch him right here. He comes up, gets caught inside, spins around, comes back, just keeps his feet turning. Second, third effort guy. That's what you're looking for in a young rookie. He's going against one of the best tacklers in the league. And Gruber spins around, push by him. He keeps coming. That's a heck of a job. Great effort. Nice throw by Dilfer under pressure.
17-yard pickup, not a first down. Ball just over midfield. Dilfer again to throw. Fires a wobbly pass. Picked off by Frazier. Derrick Frazier, the interception intended for Copeland, but it was a poor pass, and Frazier gets the pick.
Well, we're looking for something to pick up the game, and that could be a big momentum changer. Derrick Frazier comes up with a nice interception. Could change momentum of this game around.
First turnover of the game.
That ball looked like it was chipped by Willie Thomas as he jumped in the air. That might have been what have done it. Watch it right there. He jumps up. I think he gets a piece of that because right after it goes through his hands, that ball gets wobbly. No matter what, though, they put pressure on Dilfer.
So Cunningham takes over. Level at their own 37. Strong gain on his Derrick Thomas Everett with a tackle.
There he is. There he is. That's the guy. Trent Dilfer's first career interception.
First one of the season. He had 6 of them last year in limited duty. As you see, Frazier, the man to get the interception. His first career interception. Eric Allen had a lot of them. Frazier hopes to pick up the slack now that Allen's gone. Second down and 2. Charlie Garner again. Touchdown and more. Garner falls down. Tony Scargill tripped him up. Arnie Bussey right there, but a 12-yard pickup for Garner.
Well, I'll tell you what, this guy, his acceleration into the hole is just incredible. He's like a Barry Sanders. He hits the hole, and he has such excellent body control. Look at him. He's down low, low center of gravity, makes the cut, makes that guy miss. Wow, great job. You've got to get this guy the ball.
Eagles moving the change. They trail 7-6. We're past the midway point of the third quarter. Garner to call again. Quickly brought down Warren. Hit him right away. So Garner and Waters are going to do a lot of sharing this season. They did so in the preseason, and if you looked at who had the better season, Garner was the man.
Garner, 6.1 average, led the entire NFL in the preseason. A lot of people say, hey, well, preseason doesn't matter. He might have put him in the second half of the game, and he's playing against all the rookies. I don't know. What he's showing out here today isn't against any rookies.
Well, Waters, again, he's so dangerous out of the backfield receiving. Garner more of your typical running back. Second down for Cunningham. Fires complete. Fred Barnett with a nice catch. Short of the first down. Tony Scargill there on the coverage, but Barnett with some nice hands.
Well, he was the primary receiver on that route, and Randall Cunningham never had to take his eyes off him. He had never had to look anywhere else. And there were a few guys open in this one. He just stays right with him, throws it great. Look at him. Beautiful job. He's going to be the Jerry Rice. He is going to be the Sterling Sharp of this type of offense for the Philadelphia Eagles. 3rd and 1.
goes at the Buccaneers 34-yard line. Charlie Garner got the first down. Nickerson brings him down, but Garner again enough to make the move to change.
Comes up to the line of scrimmage and bounces the ball outside. He'll find a way to make yards. Charlie Garner, and he's pumped up too. See, Nickerson, he does a nice job too. He's running with the flow of the back. He checks, comes over the top, bang. 2-yard pickup. Nice job by Nickerson, but enough for a first down for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Boy, these Eagle fans don't miss anything. Garner came out of the game. Waters came in and they booed him. This is a tough down. First and 10. Ricky Waters with a nice gain this time. As the Buccaneers pile on, but his forward motion, he gained maybe 4 or 5 on that one. Barney Bussey and Brooks in on the stop.
There's Garner on the sideline after a nice pickup by Ricky Waters. Is he going to have a problem here this season with these two guys, or can he find a way to keep them both happy?
Well, for a coach, it's not much of a problem. Maybe for the individual. Waters has struggled running the football. He's done a nice job catching it out of the backfield.
Ricky Waters comes into the game, has a nice pickup. Hey, there's nothing that makes a guy work harder than when your substitute has a good game.
Second down and 5. Play fake under pressure, and Cunningham goes down. T.D. Hanatu and Mark Wheeler right there. 5th time that Cunningham has gone down on the sack.
Take another look here. Nice pressure up front. It's a 4-man rush. These guys got in there quick. I think they might be trying to set up the screen.
Hey, Bill, how about this? Last year, Tampa Bay last in the NFL in sacks. They had 20 all season. They've got 5 in game 1.
Well, that's what they wanted to address, that area defensively, all sides of it.
3rd and 13 after the loss of 8. Cunningham, quick throw to Waters out of the backfield. Tripped up, fumble the football. Buccaneers pick it up.
Tampa Bay ball.
And it looks like it's going to be Tampa Bay ball. Thought I heard a whistle at first, but it's Buccaneers ball off the Waters fumble. Ray Rhodes certainly not happy. Kenny Gant, the former Cowboy, recovers. Turnover for Philadelphia. And they've got the football back courtesy of a Ricky Waters fumble.
Watch this right here. Throws the ball out to Ricky Waters. Ricky turns upfield, and here comes Tony Stargell. Puts his hand right there. He takes it out. He knocks the ball out of Ricky Waters' hand with his hand right there. Comes out on the ground. Here comes Curtis Buckley. Almost picked it up in full stride.
1st and 10. Eric Redd has a hole and gets up to midfield. Got a 5-yard pickup. Right now, time for McDonald's game break. Let's go to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Hey, Mike, Carolina scored the first 10 points, but Atlanta has come back strong. The go-ahead touchdown here from Jeff George to ex-college quarterback Bert Emanuel, 2013 Atlanta. Meanwhile, in Pittsburgh, Mike Tomczak in for the injured Neil O'Donnell, handing off to Bam Morris, 5 yards to pay dirt, 13-10 Steelers. Back to Mike.
Thank you, James. 2nd and 5. More in motion, and there go the flags. A lot of movement on the line at both sides. Mike Mamula jumped across.
He's always jumping across. He's an exciting young kid out there, I'll tell you. But I think that's going to be on the offensive line. I think Scott Dill up top just flinched a little bit.
Certainly the Eagles feel it's that way. Gary Lane once again.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 76, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So they'll move it back. Scott Dill, as you mentioned, the guilty party.
Fans here chanting Charlie.
Even on the Eagles on defense, they don't care. This is a tough down. 2nd and 10 for Dilfer. Harris in motion. Dilfer out of the backfield. Got Rent. He's got a lot of room. Cross midfield. And Rent pushed out of bounds. Greg Jackson knocks it out. But not after another first down, a 17-yard pickup.
Nice play by Dilfer, finding Eric Redd out in the flat.
maybe a little bit of the West Coast offense installed here right back at the Philadelphia Eagles. He drops back, sets up, checks. He checked down. That was his secondary receiver. He turns the ball upfield. Nice blocking job there by Dave Moore, the tight end. Good pickup, good execution all the way around.
That's not bad out of the backfield. Caught 22 passes last season. Another first down for Tampa Bay. Here down at the Eagles 36. Derrick read again. Quickly hit Mike Short. It's the first one to hit him. And perhaps a yard on the play. Sam Wyche's team struck early, but no one has scored since the first quarter. Here you see again the no-huddle offense. Final seconds of the third quarter. And Dilfer's going to let it run out. So quarter number 3 is complete here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Tampa Bay on the move. They still lead it 7-6. We'll be back after these messages from your local Fox station.
See television's biggest names on the 47th Annual Emmy Awards on Fox.
Free gasoline? You say it doesn't grow on trees. Well, it does if you use the Shell MasterCard from Chemical Bank. And you can earn more and more gallons of free Shell gasoline the more you use the Shell MasterCard from Chemical Bank. Don't have a Shell MasterCard yet? Get one to start earning your free gasoline. Watch for an offer in the mail or pick up an application at a Shell station.
Hi, honey.
Hi.
So, do you like my haircut?
Well, if I tell you I like it, you're going to say, what, you hated it before and you didn't tell me? And if I tell you I don't like it, then you're going to say, well, if you loved it before, why in the world did you let me get a cut?
Tired of playing games you can't win?
So, do you like my haircut?
Your haircut?
Play Florida Lotto, where people win millions all the time.
Labor Day weekend in Philadelphia, opening of the 1995 NFL season. All that scoring done in the first quarter as we're ready to start quarter number 4.
7-6. Who would have thought in the fourth quarter between these two teams and all the talent that surrounds that's out there in the field that the score would be 7-6 right now?
Especially the way they started. Right now, Tampa Bay on the move. They're in Eagle territory, the 35-yard line. Second down and 9 for Dilfer. Rossi in motion. Dilfer's going to pass again. Fires, complete. Jackie Harris, the tight end, with his first reception of the day. Kurt Gouveia brings him down.
Jackie Harris. Jackie Harris comes underneath Kurt Gouveia. He gets a one-on-one matchup. He's going to settle underneath as the receiver went deep and cleared it there for him. He's wide open. He runs a 4.5 40. There's no middle linebacker in the league that can hang with him.
That's the first time they've even looked at him. He's an excellent receiver. Third down and 1. They're having a little difficulty here. Derrick, he's got the first down and more. Right down to the 20-yard line. Let's quickly send you for McDonald's game break to our Hollywood studio and James Brown.
All right, Mike, Jim Everett showing nice touch on this. Look here, looking right, fakes right, goes left. Nice touch on this one as he finds Quint early. The two-point conversion attempt is missed. 24-15, San Francisco. Back to Mike and Bill.
Back to JB. First down on the red run. Tampa scored early, but has not put points on the board since the first quarter.
Well, we said as he got his motor running later in the game that he'd pick up yards, and he sure has.
Dave Moore in motion. Red again. Almost brought down for the second effort. There he goes. He gets down to the 15, a 5-yard pickup. Mark McMillan with the tackle.
Look at Mark McMillan. How about him coming up on the play? 5'7", 148 pounds. Do you think his mother ever thought he'd be playing in the National Football League when he was growing up?
148 pounds. That is light by any NFL standard.
I think that's when he's dripping wet, too.
Although Emmett Thomas, their defensive coordinator, says he's one of the best cover guys he's ever seen. 2nd and 5 after the nice run by Red. Play fake from Dilfer. Everybody's covered. Finally lobs it, throws it away. Excellent coverage from the secondary.
Nice decision by the young Rauder quarterback. He didn't do that in the first half. He was under pressure. Nobody was open, and he threw the ball out of the end zone instead of trying to force it someplace and get picked off.
Andy Harmon with some good pressure to flush him out.
Here he is with a play action. He rolls out. He's looking. He doesn't find anybody. Now here comes someone. Here comes Andy Harmon into the picture. He says, I'm getting rid of it.
He's taking his good share of whacks. Again, he had to lead the game for one play earlier. So a penalty on that play, evidently. And it's going to be first down. Didn't get the official word from Gary Lane.
It's like 1st and 10 from the 11.
Red Salone setback. Derrick read the call, squeaks in and maybe gets a yard or two. Gouveia pressure in the backfield.
When Red is 8 yards